Hey guys, welcome to the close. Couple hours left in a pretty interesting trading session here. We're back in negative territory after a pretty good start to the day, to be honest. We've sold off ever since lunchtime. This debate, I guess, if you will, continuing as we speak with Fed Chair Powell, Christine Lagarde as well from the EU involved with this, talking about inflation globally as a problem, how they're going to go about handling that. So I've been listening to that during lunchtime. We'll keep you updated on anything that comes out of that. There really hasn't been too many market moving type of comments other than Fed Chair Powell basically saying they're still committed to bringing inflation down using their tools, if you will, as they see fit. So here we go. Here's a look at some red numbers for you right across the board right now. 0.7 there for the S&P, the Dow just 0.03. It's tech getting hit once again, 1%, 2 days in a row. We're seeing the NASDAQ and tech stocks leading the way to the downside. 0.6 there to the upside still for crude oil. That was up more than 2%, remember, at one point in the trading session. 0.3 for Bitcoin, back to the downside for Ethereum. Yeah, a lot has changed on this board, to say the least. Since last we spoke, we were discussing some of the travel names still standing out as the strongest of this board entirely. UAL, AAL right here, both reporting better than expected forecast for the current quarter. Delta is here, Love is here, CSX, they also all reported, but look at the red that's come back into industrial stocks in general. Tech shares to the downside, as we said, leading the way. In fact, the semiconductor group, we're going to discuss AMD coming up here, NVIDIA 4.5%, Enphase as well. 11% to the downside. Yep, PayPal getting hit once again, almost 5% in the red. Resource stocks up here, we mentioned a few of them on the strong side of the gate this morning. Nucor included, 4% there, still in positive territory off earnings. FCX, though, getting hit 10%. Their report not as good as expected. So a mixed board overall. Yeah, there's Tesla, 5.7, still hanging on to some strength, but I mean, it really hasn't been a volatile day, to say the least, for Tesla specifically, coming off that blowout report overall. Obviously, market weakness dragging everything to the downside a little bit, but we'll talk about Tesla and that pretty good report. Hope your afternoon is going well. There's a little bit of news on MoneyGram. I mean, it's a buyout anyways, but MGI, it looks like their deal has fallen through. So MGI, huge move back to the downside. That CYN still making moves, trying to come back to the downside. Mullen, obviously, you heard Trader Brad talk about that in depth. SWVL, also another big mover from this morning that we'll have a look at. It's been one of those days. Roblox down as well, 4% on the day. We're going to talk about chip makers to start. If you're joining us for the first time in the afternoon, we spent some time, go back over some of the trades that were available to you in the morning. We'll do that now, including what was on the watch list. Sean's going to lead the way here. He's going to have a look at one of his trades from the open this morning.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, we're back here with the trade of the day, and today, yes sir, what a tale of 2 days, man. Yesterday, we got smoked holding that short on Facebook, or that long on Facebook, sorry. Today, we go short on Facebook, and we actually just took out right now an $11 winner, but could be 12 or 13 if we had held on. But I'm going to choose AMD today. Why are we going to choose AMD? Well, Brendan just talked about some of the semi-weakness, and we've been sort of picking on AMD ever since it broke that $100 level. If the NASDAQ continues to fall down, AMD, of course, one of those semi names that does have that higher PE. If you're looking for some flight to safety in the semi names, the best thing I could suggest to you would be SMH, or look at an Intel, something like that that has a lower PE, maybe a Micron. But when you're talking about NVIDIA or AMD, these are the high flyers, these are the game changers. They're going to go bonkers to the upside when and if this market ever turns around. But for right now, check out what the NASDAQ is doing, man. It's all the way to the downside. We were actually up, I believe, about 1% or so today, maybe even a little bit higher at its peak after Tesla earnings. And now you see today, NASDAQ just puking down as Fed Chair Powell and group start discussing some of their policies and what they're looking to do. So we instantly just said, you know what, let's take AMD short. But it wasn't instant. We waited, man. We were trading other names off the open. This didn't initially hit my sticky note because we had so many other ideas, including that Facebook, including Tesla, including American Airlines, all on earnings today. AMD just flowing with the moves here. Oh, yes, sir. We just got another fill down there. Wow. All right, that's great. I wasn't even expecting to get that fill right here on AMD. Look at this move to the downside. First of all, we highlight this level, $93. Why? I have the 20-minute chart up here. Just look, it's been weak. Like, look at these moves to the downside. Sure, later in the day, we've gotten some accelerated moves up, but we were looking at this 93 level again, and I just like to look at even dollars. Unfortunately, 95, we should have maybe had that today, but we let it fall back down and into 93. We're always looking at key levels, and there's another one right here, 91.75 or so, and we're going to talk about where that comes in. Look, sitting beside Arun and just figuring out my strategy when these days kind of happen really has helped me do trades like this, and I'll explain that in a minute. But right now, market comes down. My very first trade was right into here. Once we broke that low of the day, we missed that whole move in the morning. Fine. Like, that sucks. We should have had it. We didn't have it. We had other names, right? We talked about that. We're looking at Tesla for sure. Then all of a sudden, bounce back up. That could have been a good short. But then we started to look at it, and people in the chat were like, hey, man, you got to look at AMD. You got to look at NVIDIA. All these names are starting to fall down. So then, basically, my first entry, not a very good one. We waited for it to take down the day's low. And that day's low coinciding with close to 93 bucks there. So we're like, all right, let's go short on that number, right? So we tried it. We went short, and then all of a sudden, just didn't work. But look, it comes right back up to 93 again. And we're like, all right, so that first short is like 92.50. We take it back upside. And we're averaging in here, it's only 50 cents. Like, when you're gonna look at some of these moves right here, like that's a short 91.80. We just got out 90, that's $1.80. So we're definitely able to hold this. Forget about that wick. We never really test that 50 period, right? Comes back in, VWAP up here, then the move starts to happen. And as the NASDAQ starts to fall down here, you know, we're like, all right, let's go. And we're trying to hold. So first piece out, again, right there. The same spot that we got a bad entry on in the first place. Is it going to hold that level? Who knows? But we get out, and then look, comes right back up again, and then the fall, right? And so bang, then we start getting out, boom, boom, boom. Start getting out all around here, 91.80. Why is that pretty key? Because again, if you go back here, go back to the 14th, there was some stop and go action down here. So we weren't 100% sure what was going to happen at 92. These were some of the lows that we were looking at. Remember, before today, this was the low, 92 bucks, right? And so when we were starting to get out there, right above, yeah, where we were indicated there, that level 92 had me little shook. So when we were already short, that's for you, Fahad. When we were already short 93 into here, we started to get out around that 91.80, 92 area, right? Then it started to collapse again. And then we're like, I looked over and I was like, oh my God, I don't have enough shares on. If this collapses like the NASDAQ is doing, we need more shares. So it comes right back up, right back into that 50 period. We like it so much, we hit it twice. 2 shorts there, comes right back in. Again, taking down lows of the day. All of these trades, this is like 91.50. Some of these outs, 90.50, 91s. Pops back up on Powell, blah, blah, blah. Talking about the market again, trying to go dovish, but market don't care. Comes back upside. And look what happens again. Right back into that same area. Same level of concern, right? Brings it right back into there. We go, all right, short again. So then we hit that short again. Boom to the downside. Gives us another opportunity. Bang it down to the downside again. And now we still have shares on. So hallelujah. We've got reloaded numerous times here in AMD. The lesson to be learned, obviously zoom out. We talked about that. And then another thing that I learned today was you're never too late to the party, man. As long as you come well dressed, you have an opportunity here to make your play on any name. So have the, you know, the wherewithal to look at the right names and to get in if your levels start getting hit. So those are my lessons there. Patience is key. Cannot believe we just got that. But as we take that 90 out, look where AMD is now, starting to even make lower moves into 90 bucks. Looks like it's going to take it out. It just did, 89.95. This reload was about 30 minutes ago at about 91.50. It's down to 89 right now. That's your trade of the day. It's a good one, and I'm a happy dude.
Crazy move for the overall market, top to bottom here, including some of the chip makers like AMD. But I was just looking at Peloton. I mean, there's all kinds of names getting hit to the downside. We had most of them on the watch list this morning. Anything with new additional news or catalyst was on the watch list this morning. We talked about a lot of things in the pre-market to get you set for the open. It might be worth, guys, maybe to start things off, we can go to Arun and get a look at the overall market here, because I mean, we're approaching a 90 handle move top to bottom from the highs to where we are right now, 44.10. Maybe next stop here, Arun, for the S&P.
Welcome to the show, everybody. And I mean not our show. I'm talking about the market putting on a clinic here to the downside. I mean, it's okay. This is going to be a tough one because the read was initially, let me draw this one back here. The read was, let me draw this one also. It was this play right here, right? We were kind of boxed in. We were rallying strong after taking out that 65 level, which we were working with since, since late last week into earlier this week. Finally got rid of it, stabilized overnight, never got a chance to get the long, and then we started moving strong. And, you know, it was moving up in the pre-market, up into that 44.90 towards that 4,500 area, and it's in a sell zone. You look at the daily, there's action up here. You know there's action up here. It's just a matter of where is that short opportunity on the sell side on the futures. Now, this move, the way it turned, no chance. I mean, I have a bunch of names. Of course, you can see the equity board. I am short across the board here. But at the same time, future side, I have nothing. Like, I could not find a way to get into this. And the problem with a market like this is once it gets going, the risk for a short gets higher and higher, and it just accelerates, right? And that's what you got. You essentially just went from that 44.90, 4,500 area all the way down. Then you hit the buy zone, which was in play. Remember the old 44.60 area that was resistance? Now it's support. You got to worry about that. So we get into the 50s. Like, is it going to turn here? Nope. 40s. Is it going to turn here? Nope. 30s. Is it going to turn here? Nope. So they blew through all of that. And then we bounced around 25, 26, back to 45, and then finally took out 20. So at this point, your support levels are gone. You look at the big chart. You're going, where's my next support level? There's nothing. There is absolutely nothing because I've got 4,300 down here. We might stall out a little bit between 44.10 and 4,400 even, but there is nothing stopping this market from taking a shot at these 43.50 lows. And it's going to be interesting to see how today finishes off. Tomorrow is a Friday, and then you got a ton of earnings next week. Tech major earnings that will influence this market in a big way. So definitely got to pay attention to those. But this market, the way it's setting up, if we go back to the daily, especially on the S&P 500, if you look at this chart on the daily, what do you do with this? You can't. You're too far away from either side to work a trade now. If you're positioned already, you're sitting pretty. If you're not positioned, you got to wait. You got to wait until this market either continues moving down or decides it wants to make a bounce back up into a range where you can work some shorts here. So that's all you've got. It's been quite the day. Market started up. NASDAQ was up 1.6 something percent. I remember at one point this morning, and now we are down 1.4%. So a 3% turnaround in the NASDAQ from top to bottom there today, Brendan.
Altogether, another crazy move right now. CFVI, the Rumble SPAC, guys, just absolutely collapsed. I mean, it wasn't doing anything all day long. I haven't seen anything on this, but 11.25. Right through to 1090 right now. So CFVI, Rumble getting hit. Watch DWAC. They typically move together. DWAC not really doing anything today. Anyways, but let's talk about what was on the plate or on the docket, I guess, for this morning. If you joined us in the pre-market, make sure you are every single day joining us in the pre-market. We get you ready for the open every single day. Tesla ends up, as I said, you know, when we came on it too, it hasn't been an overly exciting trade today for Tesla, but it has held up decently with the overall weakness in the market.
Yeah, look, Tesla actually, it's funny because Facebook, you know, is going to be my largest. Well, actually, AMD is going to be my biggest net winner today, and Facebook is as well, just from profitability standpoint. But Tesla's not far behind, and I only hit it and quit it, and that was it. And I should have stuck with this name. I mean, look at Tesla, absolutely puking to the downside. I feel like, and I feel like a lot of you out there feel the same way most likely, that Tesla had what was a great quarter. I mean, production, no real issues. They talk a little bit about supply chain. They came out with the cars at 310,000. They guided 1.4 million cars next year or into this year as well. So, I mean, quarter after quarter, great numbers for Tesla. It was up, like Arun said there, the NASDAQ was up 1.6% in cruising. And part of that was just on love for the tech sector because yesterday was so beat down with Netflix that today, a lot of traders, I felt like, and I said this at the beginning, that they might have been caught off guard a little bit with Tesla, maybe thinking it was going to be a short, but today it blows it out to the upside, that 1090. We went long in the pre-market, and I hate doing that, but It did work out for us because we actually got an average price down here. But first, initially, we take that long at 1070. It breaks. We get out 1067 there or so. So $3 or $4 hit. But then right as soon as the market opened, we were respecting some of these levels here, 1060, 1050. So we knew we wanted to grab a 1060 bid. So we actually wind up taking that bid right there. And then it rips all the way up. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit here. Rips all the way to 1085, 1090. We don't have the best outs. We take the first out at 1075 for 13 bucks. And then we're like $28 or something like that in the money. And I'm thinking like, you know, clear skies ahead, you know, this number wouldn't be minus 1.5%, that we'd hopefully stay up here. And then we just kept bouncing off 1090. We should have held that, taking it out, but that's hindsight. We get out eventually at 1080. And then this is where everything just collapses. We were asked on the show about what was a good level to possibly watch out for other than that 1080. And it was right here when you get that sort of cross between the 50 period and the VWAP, which is volume weighted average price, to the downside, and then it just starts to puke, man, all the way down into where we are right now for Tesla. So, I mean, this stock right now, just respecting the 50 period, making moves down, and you're back into where it was yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, but where the earnings came out there. We danced around this 10-15 level. So, I mean, right now, Tesla's sick, honestly, right now, downside. Really no bumps here that you could have even shorted. This was a decent level, 1040. I guess that could have been a short right there. But now Tesla's collapsing. And honestly, I'm not even going to, like, normally we zoom out and we talk about like, oh, if it hits here, then maybe this is a bouncing spot. Nah, today, I think Arun just covered that with the futures. There's really no end in sight here to this move to the downside. So we're going to hold some of these shares and look for more opportunities to reload the shorts. And on Tesla, it's just, they had a good quarter. So this is not a name that I'm going to reload something on the short. If anything, it's going to be Facebook or AMD stocks that have just been getting hit with momentum on the NASDAQ. So Tesla has a chance of bouncing. Netflix did a nice bounce, and we'll probably talk about that soon. So we will get into that. I'd pass it over to you, Arun, but I already know what you're going to say about Tesla, and he's already doing it right now. So let's go back over to Brendan and see what's going on with Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix tried, I guess. We're kind of working our way back to the downside here today. Obviously, Bill Ackman comes out, says he took a $400 million hit on his position on Netflix after that 35% destruction we saw yesterday. But I mean, a number of other personalities, I guess you want to call them, coming out today on CNBC specifically, talking about taking advantage of this opportunity down around 215, 219.
Yeah, Netflix is going to be the only trade that I actually took today that didn't work out. And if you go to my chart here, I was short. I was trying to work the short on Netflix this morning. We were down through 220. My whole thing was this 220 area, 218 through 220 was holding out well yesterday. Every time we got underneath, after that huge move down, this is where the area was where we found some buying, right? So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? We're working this to the buy side. I was thinking coming into the day that, hey, if we get into this area and we set up a long, I want to be long. But then I saw in the pre-market that we were actually working underneath. So, hey, at that point, okay, we broke through that level. This could actually have a little bit more legroom to the downside. So let's take a look at the short. And you see the pre-market activity. It was right about here when we, not even the first move down through that 220, it was right about here after we kind of bounced up and came down again around 855-ish. Somewhere around here is where I decided to go for the short. I'm like, this looks good. We're sitting pretty. It's fine. And then there was a little bit of buying. I'm like, I don't know about this. And then buy side action. And then the imbalance came in, buy side imbalance. And then we rallied right off the open. I was like, damn, okay, this is not going to work out. We went for the short because we thought we lost the 218 level. And then there was a buy side move. As you can see on this chart right here, that's me getting out right there, north of 222. And I'm okay with that. I knew I was putting up $4 in risk to take the short. And then it kept going up to yesterday afternoon's high. Did a U-turn, found some resistance, and down it went south of yesterday's low, which was around 212 and change. We even broke underneath by about $1 or so, and then right back into that 218. Although this trade didn't work out, I keep an eye on this area right here. It's that same area that I try to work with today, didn't work out. It's that 218 through 222 area. There's a ton of volume here, ton of volume. So if we're gonna find a short, maybe tomorrow it comes back right back into here, sets up a short. I'll take that same short one more time. If we've got the zone and we know the sell side action is there, let's take a look at it tomorrow. But for today, Netflix is holding up well. but that could also just be because it's absolutely exhausted from this move through 250. So Netflix holding out well against the market that is absolutely falling apart. We just bounced from lows just now by a few points. So it is holding up well relative to the rest of the market, but that comes a day after it got absolutely wrecked to the downside.
Yeah, I feel like this could be temporary, but to say that you can't predict something like Netflix. I mean, we did have it on the sticky note, and we did talk about that flush out bottom to 212. You could see right there, and then the note we talked, and I don't have it. We are actually doing something else, and I had the long over there, but not on our platform right here. But looking for Netflix 212, yesterday's low. Then let's look long once it tests there, and if that was the flush. The problem was there's no real volume down here to show me that that was a flush bottom, but there's that 212 again. It hits it and then bounces for you that $10 or $8, I guess, back up to 220 right there. So coinciding with some of those pre-market levels. But we did think that that was going to be a possibility, that we retested yesterday's bottom. So I've already bought Netflix in and around this price, a little bit lower than this. I feel like at some point this is going to get bought up a little bit, but I've said the same thing for Facebook and a lot of those names. If this market continues to go lower, which it seems like it's going to, and we know that, we already know what the Fed's plan is. I don't think today, and I'm going to wait to hear more about it, read some stuff, what was happening today with the Fed, but honestly, I feel like they're going to stay the course. And at some point, some of these moves to the downside are going to get exhausted. Netflix, still a company, profitable company, but you're going to have to wait a little bit. It's going to have a PE of 20. So, I mean, at some point, it's going to be bought. Is it sub 200? Maybe. I always look to think about some tailwinds that could exist for Netflix. We talked about their ads supported system. Maybe they're going to do that. I don't know if that's a great idea. I also wonder about the password sharing. Is there an opportunity there for them to clean that up? Because they did say that there's 100 million shared accounts. So there's users out there, that 100 million users that are part of shared accounts. So, even if they can convert 10% of those, that's 10 million, which is great. They only get between 2.5 to 3 million subs a quarter. So if they can figure out how to convert that, and if people are willing to pay it, I mean, they keep upping the price, man, and then blaming like, oh, it's 4K content. Well, I mean, some people might not want to pay that extra $3, $4, $5 a month for that 4K content. And I know there's downsized plans, but I look to see Netflix. Bill Ackman's already been in this name. I feel like, him liquidating, I don't know if that's going to be a mistake by him or not, but he could always get back in. If he was circling the wagon at 300 on this name, I wonder what's going to happen. Not just Bill Ackman, there's other PE firms and other funds out there that will come in and maybe support something like this. But I look at Netflix here, think it's a decent value. I've got some money in. By far, it's not a monster position, but I like Netflix here for the longer term, but you're going to have to give it, at least a month or so probably to settle down before you're like definitive on which way we're going. So I'm not buying any more dips. We've talked about the third day. If this gets into 200 tomorrow or early next week, then we'll probably put some more money into this thing. But for right now, I'm going to be holding Netflix. And as a day trade, I'm still going to try to take those longs if it gets down to that 212.
All right, on the other side of the spectrum today, we still have some strength coming through in this market, and it's in the form of airlines specifically. Both UAL and AAL coming out saying that they are going to be profitable this quarter as demand is basically back to not only pre-pandemic highs, but almost record high demand for travel for these airlines. So, I mean, UAL 10.6% right now. I mean, gapped up, we kind of went sideways. There was a trade at the open probably, but hasn't really done much since. We're holding above 51, but a great look here in a overall very weak market for these airlines.
It says a lot about air demand right now, right? I was actually just reading an article about in Canada, the wait times for passport renewals is like triple. It's like stupid.
Is that ridiculous? Like, we just got our passports and we waited like 3 days or something for it. So I don't know.
I've got one of those 10-year passports, so I'm good for another 5 years. Yes. But airlines clearly in demand. Everybody wants to travel. UAL, AAL, those are the American ones. In Canada, we have Air Canada, WestJet, whatever. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, everyone wants to fly out, including this guy. This guy is also flying out. I've got a couple of vacations lined up in the summertime as well. So a lot of people looking to fly out and just kind of get out and explore finally after a couple of years where, things have been iffy. So UAL up 10.6% to the upside, holding out well in a market that's actually now looking to go down again, 2 points from the lows again. as we just turn back around. There maybe have been a chance to maybe do a covering run to the upside. Nope, back down to the downside we go on the overall market. UAL holding up well. This is a good thing for UAL. The only thing I worry about is if I go for the daily here, we are hitting the top end of this range here, around 53. Not range, but the top end of the resistance point. It's around 53. 53 to 54 is going to be an issue. We've been here multiple times. We've been here in October of 21, in November of 21. We attempted to get close by in February of this year. Around here, there's a problem. There's volume here, so it's a matter of just how are we going to process any sort of buy-side action and get through this in a market that's not helping out the situation right now. So it's just a matter of, can we get through this zone here? And if we can, upside is going to be the way to go here. For today, it's holding out well. It had news. It has a reason to hold up well today. The question is, can it hold up just as well in the following days? And that's what's going to really matter here as we kind of go forward with this. Is UAL going to be one of those situations where, you know, it's great the day that we get that news, we get those earnings plays, and then all of a sudden, it just kind of drifts off as the news, as everyone just kind of moves on and forgets that this is why we went up this fast anyways, right? So keep an eye on this. It is at resistance levels, and it's going to be an interesting one to watch. I typically like to go for Boeing, but UAL is definitely doing a lot better today, and a cleaner chart too to work with, at least, on UAL versus Boeing. I mean, Boeing's kind of all over the place here. Until they break that 172 line, you see this red line here. Until they break that, I probably won't touch Boeing as well. So somebody was asking, hey, why is Boeing down today? You see the market, right? You see how the market's going,
but
right?
I mean, IBM, I'm up IBM right now, $1.40 in the money on a long.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, who knows why some of these names are down. But you just talked about UAL, so we'll do that. I'm going to go airline strength to that one today because I picked the wrong one. I picked American Airlines, and it's not strong at all today. It's actually incredibly weak, American Airlines today. You're going to see that it's up 5%, just like if you're going to look and see Tesla, you say, oh my God, Tesla's up 4%. Must have been a great day to trade Tesla to the long side. But no, AAL, for some reason, I felt like their quarter was in line. I mean, the UAL CEO did come out and say, I mean, just to your point about traveling, and some people there on the chat as well, talking about that they want to get out there. Apparently, demand is better than it was pre-COVID. This is what they're saying. It was either the Delta or the UAL CEO, and I apologize for their names, came out and said they've never seen bookings like this ever in the history of their tenure, I guess, with the company. So yeah, I believe it. I think it's strong. I mean, I just traveled. I had a great time. The family had a great time. We went to Miami and felt, you know, pretty safe there, and everything was good to go. So, you know, I'm of that thinking, man, where, you know, maybe there is something here with travel. But today, AAL to the downside, not super pleased with the performance on that name. So, yeah, not much to talk about other than, you know, we tried to go long and support some of these bottoms. It was really that 2050 area that we were looking at. So first, that was really the bad take early, where we let it fall down, made that bottom at 21, then we wanted to rip it back through VWAP. That didn't happen. And just like Arud's Netflix trade, you know, you could always look back at them and be like, hey, you know, bad trade. Yes, it was. But did it follow our plan? Yes. We got out once it broke that 2050. Couldn't be happier with that. It does go back down into $20. So right now, AAL, I think it's worth being on your mind, but not for too long right here. There's just so many more movements happening all across the market. And we're going to get to those right now, especially with this next name, Brendo. Yeah,
let's go to Meta. Yesterday, it was Cleveland Research talking some negativity on Meta. Today, Business Insider basically compared what's happening to the stock right now to what happened to Yahoo.com, which was pretty epic to the downside. So another day, another 6% here, guys, for FB to the downside.
Oh, man. Yeah, like Puke City, like yesterday, I mean, this is what I was saying. We could have used this as our trade of the day. And again, man, we seek revenge on this name, and we get it today. Because honestly, yesterday, we just sat there, let this name roll us over on the long side right here as it was just fading back in. We kept trying to defend 210, 208. We talked about why and why we like those levels. But then as you see in here today, we basically complete opposite. As soon as the market opened, man, we started hitting these shorts. We used this pre-market high. I was actually going to use this little level right there where we bumped to yesterday of 204 as, you know, another area to maybe load up more shares if this started to somehow go upside, but it didn't at all. These shorts are 201 and 202, right into there, right into the 50 period, right into the VWAP, and then it just started falling. We thought we were doing pretty good getting out at 200 for like a buck 50. Then it started to fall again. These are 199s. Remember where we're short here. This is 201.60. So out 199.25, like, and then we start getting out again at 197.50. And then honestly, the NASDAQ was just falling, and I was like, I remember when this happened yesterday, and Facebook just collapsed. You know, again, it doesn't take much to remember this. So 1 day ago, and then all of a sudden, boom, a big move down into 193, and then it just kept on cratering. And then at this point, honestly, it started to barcode a little bit here, down at 189, 190, and I was like, maybe that's enough, man. Maybe we're done on this move. So that's where we started to get out, and a break there of 191, unfortunately, is where we wound up getting out. So we leave $3 plus on the table here, but hey, it's already a $10 winner. We took it out. It started to go back up. It was above the 50 period. I was thinking maybe enough is enough on this name, but apparently enough is never enough. As right now, Facebook continues to go to the downside. It's a monster winner for me. I couldn't be happier. We, you know, made back yesterday, and we're just super happy with the way Facebook's trading. And it's nothing but short on this name, nothing but short on AMD. I mean, you already have a bunch of shorts on right now. But yeah, super happy with the way this traded. Facebook to the downside, another 6%. We started the day talking about that it was down 8% yesterday, Arun. Yeah. Remember you mentioned that the largest big cap name for the largest move yesterday was Facebook. Forget about Netflix, just side of Netflix. Facebook had a research report come out, more reports coming out today. I don't know if this reminds me of Yahoo or not. We're gonna see, man. That's the most interesting reports yet to come next week is Meta. Let's see if people are right and if they deserve this kind of a downgrade. Let's see where ad revenue is. I have no idea.
Yeah, I had a chance at Facebook, but again, I was so loaded on shorts this morning. I had a ton of shorts, and I still have a ton of shorts, as you can see by my board. I had a ton of shorts this morning. It was Facebook against the 200. I was like, okay, that's going to be the play that I want to take. And when all these alerts go off, and I've already got a ton of shorts, I got to cut myself off at a certain point. I'm not going to step into so many more shorts on top of what I've already got. So I kind of passed up on Facebook. To be fair, I just had to. It's just a risk profile thing at that point. I'm like, okay, here comes the 200, and there goes the 200. Am I going to do anything with it? No, I'm going to let it go. Just because we got to 10 o'clock, and I already had like 7 shorts. I'm like, step back a little bit, but that was an easy trade. Why? You look at the daily, and you see that breakdown. Round number right here. How much space do you have to the downside? Pretty much where we are now, into the 190s. So easy trade, easy trade. It's just a matter of if you have the space, if you're willing to take the shot on the risk profile side of things. Definitely one of the easier trades to make, especially when they work out like this. Let's just kind of put things in perspective. Regardless of how your day turned out today, whether it was, you know, a huge winning day or not, this is not normal. Like, you do not get moves that are moving like this. Yesterday, Netflix moved like this. It was just an easy $30-something winner. Today, you got Facebook doing the exact same thing through 200. Easy trending moves. When you get trending markets and you just happen to be in position, you've got to maximize every single dollar you can get out of it, because this is not a typical market you deal with. You just maximize your profit on days like this so that when the market does get more difficult, which is typical or a normal type of day, it's just you have a much larger war chest to work with, right? Because these are days where it's a matter of just counting money. It's not about losing money. It's not about worrying about losing money. It's about just counting your money. Because this is just way too easy of a day to get your hands on when it starts going. Facebook was like that. Netflix was like that. Pretty much every single name. Even the futures, if you caught it around 4,500, was like that. I did not. But it's been one of those days. Take all your money, cash it in, and then keep it, because you're going to need it come next week with all those earnings coming out.
Yeah, key levels definitely coming into play on a number of these. We touched on some of the chip makers. I put chip makers on the board there this afternoon, but worth a note here on Disney before we go on. Down 2%, trying to make a day low as well through 122 there. Florida lawmakers did pass that bill. The guys were talking about this a little bit yesterday, if you were with us, on the tax side of things. So they had a special status in Florida for the property on the tax side of things. So Florida lawmakers did pass that bill to revoke their special status in Florida. So Disney as well, guys, under pressure here, down 2%.
Yeah, not a good run for Disney there. Obviously getting some backlash from Netflix just because of their streaming. And then now obviously this decision here to revoke that license. I don't know exactly what that means, but yeah, for tax reasons and other situations there, doesn't sound like a good one. Whenever you get something revoked, it doesn't sound like a good idea. But I did want to say a big shout out here to SWW. Oh, where is it? Right here. That he's up 36% on Jets since I made the call back on March the 7th. So actually, you know, thanks for pointing that out. And I just want to call up the Jets ETF because I remember I was like, I liked the airlines here, but I had no idea. And it just happens that we made the call when we were all the way down here. So realistically, that's a great buy down at 17. I mean, you know, that's good. But, you know, more like down into here, I think is a good buy too. 1850. But look at the Jets ETF taking off. Pardon the pun, to the upside right there. We used to have an airplane graphic here. I don't know where that one went. That was one of my favorite ones. I tried to look for it this morning and missed it. But there we go. We have this one where you come flying in here on this. But that's not what I was looking for. A nice move upside right here for that ETF. But you're talking about Disney. And look, is it hot in here, by the way, Arun, do you think?
Yeah, it's a little warm.
A little warm, okay. I just want to make sure there. Disney down here, down that 2%, and just looks sick all day, man. I mean, obviously, if Netflix would have caught some of that bounce, which they did, which might have been something right there and maybe off the open, but Disney, obviously off that news, is not a good one. This is a brand new 52-week low for Disney here today. This is obviously the 1-minute chart right there. You look at the daily chart, it's just... I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 red days mixed in with 2 green little days that you can barely even see because they're irrelevant. So Disney to the downside, it's been getting hit ever since it took down that 128. The funny thing about Disney is, and I'm not going to zoom out, but you just have to take my word for it, this is the same price Disney was 6 years ago. Okay? And they cut their dividend. So, like, there's nothing for Disney right now. I just thought they would have been performing a hell of a lot better. It's been an amazing run in the market the last 6 years, right? Obviously, we've had some dips, but I don't need to tell you guys that. As investors, some of the record numbers that have been put up, and Disney right now back down to those levels. Sure, there's lots of names that are like this, but as a Disney shareholder, I thank God that we're able to, I shouldn't say that, but that we're able to get out at 180 up there, a little bit of shares anyways, have not bought back in, and I'm not sure when we're going to do it. I want to see a good quarter from Disney. And if that comes through, then yeah, I'd be all over them. But until they guide higher or we get some kind of news here, I don't know what that news could possibly be before earnings come out. So we'll just wait for that. I know Bob Iger's gone. And I know they had some controversy there, politically as well recently. I don't know if that's hitting the stock or not. I feel like it shouldn't. But they have so many levers to pull. So if they're getting hit because of Netflix, now it's interesting to say that story about revoking their license, but they have the theme park business. They still have the traditional legacy models with ABC and ESPN. And they continue to pump out movies, so they have, the AMC, the movie theater kind of experience as well. My kid wants to see something called Bad Guys. That comes out tomorrow. He's read all those books, so maybe we'll head to the theater. I don't believe that's going to be a Disney movie, but it might be. So, yeah, look, I'm going to support the theaters, and I hope you guys do as well. But for right now, I think Disney has many more levers to pull. I'm looking to get back into this name. I just have no idea where the bottom is, and I think the best thing to do is wait for earnings.
Yeah, Disney was, remember the day that, what was it, Netflix? Yeah, Netflix. The day there was a sympathy play on Disney because of Netflix. It was a matter of, well, is Disney going to pick up the slack? And this is what we were looking for. And to be fair, it gapped down, and I'll move it to the 60-minute chart here so you guys can see it. It was this day, right? We were like, okay, this is going to gap down in sympathy. And then I was like, okay, north of 127, I'd like to see maybe pick up a long here if we can just get some stability north of 127. They attempted 127. If I break it down to the 5, you'll see they attempted 127 a bunch of times, right? And every time it was just a matter of, hey, getting up there and losing it, getting up there, losing it. At that point, I was like, okay, this is not looking good. What's the flip side of this trade? If we go to the 30 is, if we lose the bottom, which was 124. You take the 124. Again, another trade. By this one came in around noon. When you're positioned already with everything you got, do you really need another short to add to the pile, right? So this one came in late, but 124 on the break here. And there you go. That's $2 in the money. And that's a technical trade. It should have done and held strong north of 127. It did not. It had no juice to go. And then this morning they tried 126, couldn't hold it. They lost the bottom, 124. And then down goes Disney. You break it down to the daily. What do you got? Nothing. Nothing to the downside. Can we go to the weekly? What do you got?
Nada.
You may have 120 now on the weekly, but you got to go back like October of 2020 to find that area. So it is coming down. Nothing on the daily, but going back a couple of years, you'll find something. But again, I try not to go too far back, so I'll just leave it on the daily and say we got nothing to the downside. So let the market trade. Let the stock tell you where it wants to trade. And for now, it looks like it's going to be to the downside with wide open space to go.
All right, let's get on to some frustrations here. We came in this morning, if you remember, in the pre-market to a positive market and a lot of people talking positively about individual stocks as well. And then it was nothing but selling ever since the market opened. So one of those days where you could get caught on the wrong side a little bit today, guys. Let's hear about some frustrations.
We skipped chip weakness, I think.
I think we just decided to talk about Disney instead of chips.
we skipped that, not Brendan skipped there. But I was going to go to chip weakness just real quick. We've been shorting AMD. We talked about that as the play of the day, and we just got short again into AMD. I thought I was sitting here at 91, but I wasn't. So unfortunately, I had to take a 50 there, and then we punched low again as we just broke through that 50 period. So here we go. Now to the downside. We just reloaded this at 51, and then again right now at 35. So let's see if AMD can go to the downside. We just got a bid there at 25. So this is what we're doing, man. And I said over to Arun, it's like, how can I ever make more money? Because by the time these moves come all the way down here, I don't have any shares left because I'm not typically reloading these positions until they get like to ultimate levels. And sometimes that doesn't happen. And then when a crash comes through, we don't have the shares on board. So we've been reloading aggressively. And that's all that I wanted to say about the chip names because honestly, they're so weak right now that any sort of a pop up in the market, sure, I do have outs. So it's not like, it's just we're not hitting them, that's all. So if this can come back up, we will get out of this, especially a breakthrough 91. But for right now, we're just watching this go through. And we're doing some backflips right now. We just got another bid, by the way, out there on AMD. So there's another one, 91.15. We'll see if we can get back into this area, 90.15. I'm going to put a bid right now, near that 90 and see if we can get it before this market wants to blow back up to the upside. A nice little move downside. So frustrating stocks. I'm just going to go back to Tesla, honestly, because, today I think we traded it okay in the morning. We did make a decent amount of money because these are all like $20 winners there. But at the same time, I feel like we left it alone. It started to come back in. We've already know that, this is a name that's very volatile. It's an earnings day. And it's just Tesla. Although, again, people are going to see it up 4% and not even understand what that means because not us viewers, but people are going to I'm going to go home or something and my dad's going to be like, oh, wow, you see Tesla 4%, good day. But no, I mean, it gave everything back today, all the way back into the downside, now coming back down to 1020. So I really think once we lost that 1050 area, which is right here, that would have been a great short. Those are some of those pre-market highs and lows, the bottom right there that we're talking about. We've used 1050 numerous times for Tesla as areas that we've talked about coming in back into right there. As we think that's 1050 right there. So, there was areas there, should have shorted it. Tesla, one of my frustrating stocks today.
You would think that for me, I'm on the short side. I've been on the short side. Every single trade I've taken today is to the short side, and I've still got 5 shorts on the table. You would think the one short that didn't work out would be my frustrating stock of the day, which was Netflix. No, I don't regret that trade at all. I mean, it didn't get to me. I did what I needed to do. It just didn't work out. There's nothing wrong with a trade not working out. That's not what makes things frustrating. What makes things frustrating is getting the read right and then not being able to participate in that. Losses are part of trading, right? So you got to accept that. When you make mistakes or you tend to miss out, just barely get into a position, that one hurts. And for me, it's the futures. It's in the sell zone. Set it up. I'm just waiting for something here. And if you really, really look deep into it, you might be able to chase into the 90s right here, around 1045 or so. But again, it's one of those things where it's there, and then you have to sit and watch this thing go 80 points from that point in time. 80 points at $50 a handle is $4,000 per contract. So that's the type of move you're dealing with here. And that's, for me, is the fact that I missed out on a move like this on the futures because that matters so much more to me, especially given that we were at a sell side resistance level.
All right, we are getting into the heart of earnings season. Typically around this time during earnings season, we get a lot of questions about how to trade earnings reports. We're going to give you a few hints today on some of our favorite strategies when it comes to earnings season and how to play them off of the news, guys. It's a trader's favorite time of year, and it's earnings season.
Yeah, I mean, especially nowadays when the volatility is just so intense into the market, right? And I think that's really going to be one of my tips here, is to understand not just the stock that you're trading, but also the environment that you're in, right? And if you're in one of these environments where the market just wants to basically puke to the downside and doesn't seem to have too much strength, you really need to trade the companies that are the number one companies and the blue chip names in their business. So I'm going to talk about AAL today. AAL came out with an absolutely great report, I thought anyways. Their Q1 adjusted loss, 1.51 billion, versus 2.74 billion. These are losses, but they still lost 1.5 billion. And their earnings per share, they had minus 2.32 versus what it was expected, minus 4.34. So again, they had what I thought was going to be great earnings, but when you really dig down, they're still losing money. And in this environment, you really have to change up some of the strategies there and say, hey, you know what? I don't want to go long, even if they come out with a good report. We had Tesla today up 10% at the highs, now down to 4%. And here's a perfect example of my AAL trade right here. I mean, look what happens. We think it's a good trade. AAL comes in today. Look at this move to the upside. AAL was up 10% today. And if we call up a daily chart for AAL, I'm thinking here, great report, right? Great report. They've come out now and they've hit it out of the park. And now we're going to start to head upside. Even a possibility of a break of this 22 on the daily chart. So right there, thinking we're going to break that level. It was a great report. Outsized everybody else. You come in today up 10%, right? It was up more today than when Delta reported, than when UAL reported. But look what happens to American Airlines. Again, a weak company, not performing, not even profitable. They even mentioned that they're looking to turn profitable next quarter. But guess what? That's next quarter. So what happens here today is AAL, despite coming into some levels, it actually doesn't wind up holding any levels whatsoever. If we find the 20-minute chart here on AAL, we thought that, hey, maybe we would hold something in here. 2050 is right here. We've bounced around there. There's the bottom of 20. But what does it hold? It holds nothing. So we tried to go long early, then long again, before eventually giving it up right now. And Arun's already talked about it. If you have the right read, that's the most important thing. But on AAL today, we traded the earnings. We thought it was a great report, but the market doesn't want to go up. So if you're not trading the blue chip stocks, it's going to be very, very hard, to look at a name and say, I want to be long. In a pressured environment, the stocks are going to go down. The best thing to do would to trade, a name that's actually making money, or look at an ETF that sort of holds all of the airlines. Don't just trade the weakest name because it's up. AAL gave back half of its move already today.
Yeah, my approach to looking at earnings is always to look at the daily before we get to earnings. I'm going to use Tesla as a great example, by the way. So we come to the daily on Tesla. We know Tesla already reported, so this works out. We come to the daily, we drop the lines. Where can this thing potentially go with blowout earnings, or even worst case scenario, it gets destroyed to the downside? We're looking at 970. I'm just kind of working the daily here. It's been consolidating around this 970, or not, the lows have been around 970 to the bottom. Okay, we'll drop the 970. There could be some support here around the 925. Be aware of that. 850 is going to be the support level I would use through all of that, through 900. And then on the top end, you can argue, hey, 1100, because 1075 going back to the 6th and the 7th of April, there's been somewhat a small little gap down there through there. So 1075 through 1100 could be a problem. And then, of course, you got that 1250 up top, right? That's what you deal with. You come into the day, you draw those lines up ahead of time, and then you deal with earnings after. If it gets into any one of those areas, regardless of what the earnings is, if it gets into any one of those areas and it starts to look like it wants to turn, at that point you go for the shot in that direction. And what does Tesla do? Starts up at 1075, starts to look like it wants to turn. Market goes on a nosedive to the downside. And Tesla, what does that do? Around that 1075, it starts to stall out. Pre-market move attempt, north of 80, failed. Attempt again, going into the open, and we got as high as 90, failed, and then you just see what happens, right? So you just drop the lines ahead of time, be prepared for every possible scenario. I mean, in terms of support and resistance, I mean, you can't catch them all, but at least draw every possible scenario, and then you know what to do if it ever got into any one of those areas. So that's my approach when it comes to earnings. Of course, as you guys know, I don't trade Tesla at these price points, but that's what I would use for any other stock that was in a tradable range.
Some of the biggest names still to come in this earnings reporting season. Great points, great ideas there, guys, for trading earnings. So many opportunities right now. Danielle Shea joining us as per usual on a Thursday, VP of Options over at Simpler Trading, to give you more insight on earnings season and what is still to come this earnings season. Some of the biggest names on the planet, Danielle, let's be honest, coming up next week, in fact. Before we get into that, let's take a quick look back here, because it's been a wild ride, to say the least, this week. Give us your thoughts on Netflix to start here, because what a disaster that was going back a couple of days ago, and then we'll get into Tesla as well.
Well, you know, when you look at Tesla and Netflix in particular, these are really going to be the first tech stocks that are reporting, Netflix especially. And what the market does post Netflix is just absolutely crucial for, you know, market participants' psychology in the beginning of earnings season. Now, I was really bearish going into Netflix earnings, primarily because they normally trade lower after earnings. Last quarter, they completely tanked. They've been in a downtrend. You know, they've raised prices. They have so many competitors. But the main reason why I was looking at Netflix was because I was highly concerned that they were going to bring the entire, you know, NASDAQ down with them. And that's exactly what's happening here. I mean, even after Tesla's phenomenal report, it wasn't enough to bring the NASDAQ higher. So, I mean, I think we're going to be for a world of pain next week, unless you're short, of course.
It's a great point in the sense that, I mean, I saw somebody posted the other day, is it time to take the N out of FANG? Because it's getting to that, you know, point where it's maybe not that important anymore, but holding down, I guess, is the best way to say it, the entire market today. And even Tesla, coming off just an absolute blowout report, can't really do much with the overall environment because of the negativity.
Well, and you know, that speaks to investor sentiment right now when you have such a fantastic report. And I mean, of course, you always have so many people wanting to bet against Tesla. There's a lot of Elon haters out there, right? But nobody can deny the fact that he's absolutely crushing it. And so when you look at, you know, the initial reaction last night, when I was looking at the initial reaction on Tesla on earnings, it really wasn't up that much after hours. And it kind of seemed to me like a lot of the news was priced in because, I mean, there's already been the cyber rodeo. We know that the Berlin factory is open. We already got the delivery numbers this quarter. I mean, there wasn't really any major new news, right? Now, of course, by the time the market opened, it was up a little bit more. But the way that this price is fading right now is bad news for next week, because if that stock cannot even hold after that report, if any, I mean, for any company that reports next week, if they can't manage to make numbers, I mean, they're going down. And we're seeing, you know, pretty much all of the major COVID stocks that were so much fun to trade to the upside, just getting completely creamed right here. And I think they're going down even more along with Netflix.
Is there a trade, I guess, is the best way to kind of look at this? I mean, like you said, a lot of these moved a long way already. Is it, you know, okay now to start looking for opportunities?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm shorting left and right here. And I mean, I've gotten some criticism for it for sure. I mean, you know, I'll go on different segments and people will say, no, you know, it's time to buy. Everything's on sale. And it's like, when you're a trader and you watch the price action every day and you can see just the weakness out there, I mean, we're in a downtrend. We're in a downtrend. For me, I love riding trends, and people will think, oh, you know, it's not possible for Netflix to go lower. Yeah, it's possible for it to go lower. If nobody's coming in and buying it, it's not going to go higher. And so, I mean, when you're looking at, I mean, I have Carvana, Etsy, PayPal, Roku, Wayfair, Upstart, Twilio, Yeti, Pinterest, Snapchat, Herbalife, Trip. I mean, I've got a long list: Roblox, Beyond Meat, Shopify, Teladoc, Zillow, Baba, Spotify. Pretty much everything that was hot in 2020 and 2021. Now, of course, at some point, the tide's going to turn and there's probably going to be a short squeeze. and it'll be the time to come in and buy some of these shares at a discounted price, but it's not yet.
I want to touch on Snapchat, but before we get into what's to come next week, obviously, Facebook and Apple, I know you love trading those. Give us your thoughts. Snapchat aftermarket tonight, how do we look at this?
So, when I look at Snapchat, it is one of the tickers that's on my list of one that could potentially be pummeled into the ground, but I'm actually not going to trade this earnings report because it's really inconsistent when it comes to earnings. At least over the last 4 quarters, you've seen 3 really positive reactions. Last quarter in particular, it was up 44% on earnings. So even though the chart pattern looks like Netflix right now, I feel like because they have done better on earnings, it's probably not a great idea to come short it right before the report. But at the same time, when they miss, they get completely hammered. So on this one, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to see what it does overnight. If it does get crushed, we can ride the trend tomorrow, but I'm going to stay out of this one.
Some good opportunities to come tomorrow on a name like Snapchat. Coming up next week, Apple, Facebook, the 2 main ones. There's many others. Alphabet as well, set to report next week. Is there one maybe that you're really focused on, and if so, which, and how are you going to play it?
So, Facebook is getting crushed right now, and I think it deserves it for a variety of reasons. I think that we can continue trading Facebook to the downside until earnings comes, because right now what you're seeing in the market is panic. It's like, oh my gosh, what if this happens to whatever other stock that happened to Netflix? So I think we can trade stocks like Facebook lower pre-earnings. The only 2 exceptions are going to be Apple and Google. Apple and Google are like the last shot that the NASDAQ has to hold it together. Google normally crushes it on earnings. They've done phenomenal over the course of the past several years. But remember, and I remember we were talking about this one at the time, remember last quarter how it gapped up, made a new high, and did exactly what Tesla was doing today, and it just completely rolled. So I think that Google and Apple both are going to be just like a guiding beacon. If the NASDAQ cannot hold up, if these stocks cannot hold up, we're going to have a very, very nasty sell in May and go away. I would love to say that they're like the 2 stocks that would do well, but in this environment, I think it's going to be really tricky.
Yeah, important week, definitely to come. Twitter, I want to get your thoughts on Twitter here. We've had more, additional information coming out today talking about some sort of revamped bid that Twitter apparently has in possession from Elon. He's apparently got financing lined up, if not already secured. We've had so many questions, Danielle, on how to play this from an option standpoint. Are you, first of all, and second of all, what's the best way to look at it?
So, with this one, I haven't touched it recently just because, there's so much headline risk. For me personally, it's either Elon buys it and we trade it up to, 54.20 that he said he was going to buy it at. Because at that point, if he's going to buy it at 54.20, you can trade it from, see what the current price is at 46. So if he can buy it, there's definitely upside move there. But if he cannot pull this off, it is a short, so fast. So, right now, because of the volatility, you could definitely come in and you could sell calls or you can sell puts. But really in this kind of situation, I would almost rather just make a bet in either direction. Like if you think Elon's going to buy it, you can try to buy the stock, you can try to buy calls on it. Or if you think he's not going to be able to get it, you could buy puts or sell the stock. But for me, because of all the headline risk, I would honestly just rather wait until we get more of a confirmed answer and then trade the momentum move. Because right now, it's just basically trading sideways because nobody knows what's going on. So.
Hey, Danielle, I want to thank you. And how are you doing? I want to thank you for coming on the show again. You're getting a lot of love on the chat, and we really appreciate all your knowledge. So thank you once again for taking time out of your day for coming on here.
I love your show. I love coming on here.
I think it's better than the other show that you're on, but we'll keep that between ourselves right now. Okay, you made a good point about Google there. For me, I've already talked about this earlier this morning, and it's make or break for a lot of these names here. I think the most important name coming through is going to be Facebook, just because of what's happened to it. I know there's a lot of people, including myself, that are long this name and really just now have to ride it out because it's starting to break new levels here, 200 gone. But this Google chart right now, if we don't hold like this 2,500, which we're not doing right now, but I'm more talking about off earnings. Their last earnings was fantastic. We spiked from these lows all the way back to 3,000 that exact day. And then, of course, what I want to talk to you about, though, is the split that's coming in July. You know, I know you've talked about this on the show before. Does anything change? And this is coming from our guests, so that's why I'm going to ask it to you one more time. But does anything change when you're looking at options as far as how to play possibly Google? Is there something in your experience that, you know, once a stock splits, maybe you know how many days after that split, there's going to be people starting to write options on these names? Because if it's going to split 20 to 1, then this name becomes $140 or, well, depending on what the price is at that point, but down to $100. And that's obviously something that a lot of our viewers, and I'm sure a lot of traders that follow you are interested in. How, you know, where do you start to look at trading options? Is it maybe a month after the split, or, you know, how soon once they're finally available?
So when you're looking at Google, I think that where they really screwed up was they announced their split way too early. And so it didn't give it the same momentum that Tesla had, that Apple had, that Nvidia had, because, you know, the news kind of came and went, but we have to remember that they're still going to split and it's still a bullish event. So what I have been doing with this is, first of all, you know, you really have to separate it between like what's happening right now and what we could do later in July. Because right now, I mean, this is very, very bad sign for it to be breaking down, making basically a new low in 2022. But I'm looking at this chart and I'm thinking, yes, because I want to buy the shares. And I specifically want to buy the shares so that I can write options on it, because it's going to split and then you'll have more. And so do you know when the date is in July? Because I would say like 5-6 weeks before the split is really the time where I would try to start getting into it. I'm going to start buying shares here now, honestly, because it's a new low on 2022 and I'm going to keep buying them up into the split. But as far as trading options, I mean, I would say like start looking at it 5-6 weeks ahead of time. I would want to really be in it before the split. And if that's not possible, then I would get in after the split and try to ride that move. Because what happens when it splits is that people come in and buy it because it's cheaper, right? So it usually pushes the price higher.
Yeah, it's the 15th of July is when they're going to split there. But I don't know. For me, I'm going to wait until earnings comes out, although I love these levels right now. And I actually did buy Google a couple days after they came out with that split announcement. And I think you're dead on with that. Like, why in the world did they announce it in January only to say, oh, 7 months from now is when we're going to do this? I think that was a huge mistake. Apple, for example, we talked about this, I think it was a couple days ago. They announced in July that they were splitting, and then they split September 1st or something. So you had all of July, then all of August, which was a crazy ramp up. Actually went up 30-something% in the month of August before fading in after the split. So I think there's some interesting talk there. Okay, I don't have too much else to talk to you about other than you mentioned that you're going hella short right now. But what about, you know, like I'm hella long everything in my investing account. Is it tough for you to distinguish between the two? And again, I know you've been on here talking about this again, and I want to buy things for the longer term, but do you write, you know, potentially options against your current positions, or you just kind of leave your investments to the side and then trade your, you know, your options accounts and maybe your swing accounts differently, or do you hedge against some of your long-term plays?
So, I mean, I do have a variety of accounts. So I have two main investment accounts that I do not look at on a regular basis. And the reason for that is because of market action like this, right? Because it's like, all right, you know what? That's for 5-10 years down the line. I know Mr. Softy, I'm going to steal your word there, is getting creamed right now, but I love Microsoft and I'm staying in it. And I don't even want to look at that because I don't even want to be tempted to think that I need to sell my Microsoft because I don't. So I have those accounts where they're actually cash accounts. So I can't even write calls or puts on them. What I do is I just regularly transfer money in and then I just regularly buy shares of stock and I just slowly grow that over time. So, I mean, for those, it's just one of those things where it's like when the market's down like this, that's my time where I want to add more. I transfer money. When the market's down, add more. So I'm not writing calls in that account. And then I do have an active trading. Well, I have two active trading accounts. One of them where, yes, I do have some stock as well. And on that account, yes, I will sell calls because I have margin and everything like that. So I do sell calls on AMD. I do sell calls on Apple. And I mean, it helps with, the kick in the teeth that we've gotten this year for sure. But as far as my options account, that is only options. And so when I say that I'm super short, like all of my short-term trades right now are all short, every single one of them. But I mean, I'm not going to bail on my long-term investment accounts. And the one that I can trade options in, yeah, I'm selling covered calls.
Daniel Shea, always great advice. And again, chat loves you. Just promise me that you'll be back here next week.
Of course.
Good, good. Daniel Shea, VP of Options at Simpler Trading. We love it. Thank you for coming on again and have yourself a fantastic weekend. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, you too.
Ciao. All right. Well, hey. I mean, does it get any better? I don't know. I don't know. Thank you for all the love on the chat as well, guys. I mean, that's what I'm here for. You guys have any questions or anything you ever want to ask Danielle, throw it in the chat and I'll try to get to them. Brendan deals the first little bit and I'll try to ask those questions again. Thanks to Yvonne as well on the chat for that question about the splits and the options there. And of course, no better person, in my opinion, to ask than Danielle Shea. So check her out also on Twitter. But meanwhile, as Stephen Colbert says, what is happening right now? AMD is Puke City. Again, look at the reloads. Shout out to Playmaker. He was very active during that call there. But guess what? We are one more time there on AMD. You guys, I mean, we reloaded this together, I hope, down into here. I thought I had another offer up here. I mean, it would be awesome to have that, but whatever. It would just be more money. But there it is, back down in. Came in right now, right back down to day's low. And now that I see this, actually, let's go over to AMD right now and put a bid and see if we get picked up here in the 80s on AMD as it's starting to crash in again, back down to some of these lows that we've seen already today. But hey, there it is again. Boom, right there. Not boom, bang, as we go there. Another one for us there on AMD. Arun, people were asking you, and you said something to me on the side about a possible futures play. Yeah. Not that you're going to be in it, but did you want to discuss what maybe you just saw right there? Yeah, before you go any further, I want to just, there you guys go. That right there, that piñata, that was the market right there. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's blown through every single level. Obviously, we've got a ton of shorts on the board. You guys can see that scrolling ticker there. It's crazy because when I was starting to take these shorts this morning, the market was going to the upside, and the amount of heat that I was getting from the chat was just like, why are you going short? It makes no sense. The market's going up. The trend is your friend to the upside, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, I got my reads. I'll take the hit if I need to, but let me do my thing. So here I am sitting on the shorts, and here we go in the market. I didn't get a chance to get into the future short because someone was asking, did you not take a trade at all? I was looking for a play in a certain zone. If I couldn't get that trade, I wasn't going to take it. And for me, it was that upside move right through here, that 44.90-ish, and we were looking at that small chart trying to say, hey, where's the trade? Where's the trade? And then we kind of just broke through, and then at that point, it was too risky, right? I'm taking 45.30 as your stop, so if I can't get it somewhere in the 90 area, it's going to be too expensive. And then they blew through that 20 support without setting up a long, so still no trade there. And then flip side, do you take the 20 break to the downside? And there really isn't a whole lot of space to the downside. Well, there is now, but there wasn't when I stepped in. I was like, it's pretty late. I don't know if I want to step into another short this late into the day. So we kind of let it be. I've got my position, right? I don't need to, why should I press further into my positions when I've got here? We've cashed out of Docu, we've cashed out of Qualcomm. Obviously, Netflix was the hit this morning, $4 hit. Then we've got right now, Snow, $14.69 in the money. Baba, $4.31 in the money. Win, $2.92 in the money. Micron, $3.07 in the money. And Roblox, $1.60 in the money.
there's no reason for me to force any more trades here. All I have to do is just make sure that this market isn't going to snap back. And this is what I was talking to Sean about was, given how fast we're moving to the downside, there's a possibility at some point, and this is what I always worry about this late into the day without a buy move, is that there's going to be some shorts that are going to need to get out. Like, I'm going to need to get out of these shorts at some point. If everybody starts triggering each other's stops, this market is snapping back. And I was thinking, what's going to happen south of 4,400? Are we going to take stops and then snap back to the upside because everybody wants out of their shorts? It doesn't mean the trend has changed. It just means that there's going to be a buy wave to the upside. And that's what I worry about with this market still extending to new lows. We just cracked 43.90 to the downside. So we're still accelerating to the downside, but I worry about the off chance that there's going to be an exit to the upside, which is going to force a lot of people to get out at the same time. It gets aggressive, and that's my only concern. So I am tightening up stops. We've got about 50 minutes left for the end of the day. We got to be flat by the end of the day, so I am going to tighten up stops in the event that this market flattens out or actually snaps back a little bit, just to protect as much as we've got. We're sitting pretty, right? If you've got shorts, you're sitting pretty. If you've got longs, you're kind of, nervous a little bit here today at least. But for the time being, we're short and we're deep in the money on these shorts. So we're sitting pretty. Now it's time where it's not a matter of just managing these trades. It's also about managing the possibility of a buy-side covering move to the upside. That's what I'm thinking. That's my next issue that I have to deal with is, hey, great, you've got the money, but now what? Now what is always what, as a trader, you're always thinking about what's next, right? You've got the trade. First, you're trying to figure out what to do, and then you get the trade. And then once you've got the trade, you're like, okay, what are my scenarios? What happens if I go in the money? What happens if I'm out of the money? Do I do anything? And now it's gotten to a point where it's like, okay, everything's good, but now what happens if there's a buy-side move to the upside if everyone wants to get out? So that's what I'm trying to figure out, move some stops around, tighten everything up. So I won't be able to lock in everything that I'm up right now. But we're still going. I won't be able to lock in everything because at some point this market's coming back. And that's when I'll be getting out. But it's just a matter of how far does it come back before I get out. So I'm just watching out for that.
I was going to say at some point, but bro, I mean, I don't know where that point is, to be honest with you, and I don't think any of us know, but I did like that look there at 4,400 on the S&P, but right now we're just slightly under that by 11 handles, so we'll see. And look, I mean, not to say, whoa, I don't know why that was the wrong thing there, but here we go. Look at this call on Netflix. Looking for a flush bottom here. Let's just see if we retest 212, yesterday's low, then let's look long. I mean, again, we were busy. I talked about that. I wasn't even sitting here when we tested that 12. We were the first time when it was at 11 o'clock, right at the close. But again, that was an opportunity right there. Another opportunity on some of these reloads. You could draw a line, man. You're now making higher lows on Netflix as we go into this nice move back up to 220. So there it is, man. Netflix right back into those levels again. And we talked about it making that bottom there. So we took $10 on Facebook, but that could have been another 10 right there. We wouldn't have held this one for $10 to that upside. But wow, Netflix, nice little move back there. Again, we're long back down here, about 213-ish. We'll see if that's going to hold out. It's the first time I've been into Netflix since buying the company back down when it was $60. But right now, Netflix, definitely new position, new money going to work down here. Now we'll see. Is it going to hold? I'm not sure. But Netflix right now working. And then, I mean, let's just go boom. Like AMD, look at all of these reloads. And I mean, it's a trade of the day for a reason. And I'm pretty proud of this because, again, I've adjusted my trading. And I feel like I've done a good job doing that. Like, really trying to reload some of these names, just like Danielle was saying. It's like, if you're going to go one way now in the market, you might as well just go short. I mean, it's been so obvious in the NASDAQ. We're starting to break like so many key levels right now that honestly, again, I think I'm going to be more like Danielle here and never look at my investment account and then just like hold out for some of these great levels. When I see a good trade, get in there. And I think we got one on Google. I'm waiting for earnings. And if Microsoft gets hit as well, we'll give all these names kind of like the 3-day rule and then start to throw some more money in. I just hope I can find some of that money maybe under my pillow somewhere because right now some of these positions getting clocked on the long-term side, but doing pretty good here back in on some of these trades here today. Yeah, what's up, Frank? So I did want to address this IBM trade. Like, honestly, like it was just ticking like higher. Then all of a sudden, I missed that out. Like my out was going to be on this move down, a break through the 50 period. But why didn't we take breaks in the 50 period right here? Why? Uh-oh, someone's phoning me. What's up? I have no idea. Like, whenever you see a number that, like, starts random like that, you know.
Have you ever used the screen call function on these pixels?
I do. Yeah, want me to use it right now? It'll start to talk to this person.
Yeah.
So you're going to see what happens right now. And if you hit screen call on the new Pixel phones,
Yeah.
or I think it's probably any. See, they hung up.
I do it for every call.
Yeah, so it starts to talk like in a robotic voice.
yeah.
It says, blah, 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 you know, this person is not answering. Please leave a message. Anyways, the guy just hung up there. So trying to get me to buy something, I assume. But okay, back to IBM. You know, we only have 10%. There's 9 outs here, so we only have 10% left. So A, it's a smaller position. But B, why I was holding through all of this was just to see what it was going to do. It kept bouncing off these bottoms, and you could see higher, low, higher, low, higher, low. So it was just kept on making these moves to the upside, and then we were going to give it that one last move into power hour before we got out. But then we started talking, and you know what happens there. We started talking to Danielle and just got carried away and didn't address this. So yes, this is on me. This is 100% my bad on this position. But now that I see it, you know, IBM has been strong. So if you are going to get a bounce back in the NASDAQ, I'm going to look at this right now to take a long back through this 140.50. I mean, you're not going to get clear longs, you know, all the time, but VWAP right here, we bounced around it. Not only that, it's at the 50 level, and I'm going to get out if we take down 140. So right now, we're kind of in just a little bit of a no man's land right here. Our initial play was early off the go because we thought IBM, great numbers yesterday, coming in now, you know, but unfortunately, we give that up there, and we should have got out at 140, 150. So honestly, I did cost myself. It's not a big trade. I'm actually making more money just holding on to this AMD short, obviously. But IBM is only 10% of the position. It is what it is. We have 30% of this AMD left. But yeah, I'm going to give it up if it breaks through 140. So on that note, I'm not going to get long now. I'm going to wait to see if we take down this 140.50, go long if it breaks it. Otherwise, get out of this at 140. But thanks for bringing that up. And that was my bad again, not being properly focused as what the hell? Facebook?
Still going?
Like, nice. I thought getting out for $10 was great. This is 185 right now. We were short 202, $15 later. Hello. Wow, what a big move to the downside. Man, holding Meta sucks, and I'm holding it. So not a great name here in that long-term account. I think it's time to close our eyes.
Yeah, market's still going, now south of 90. So I'm starting to close out some positions. Some positions I think that, you know, might be primed for a snapback move. I'm noticing that Win, after being $3 in the money, is starting to, you know, stall out around these 75s. It's the second time we've tried these 75s to take it out. We kind of snapped. The first time we snapped from 75 all the way back to 76, and then we tried again by about 20 cents or so, and then we are coming back in. I'm like, you know what? Win's been a nice winner. We cashed out about $2.50 on the first half and $3 on the rest. Well, I'm okay. I'll take that win on Win and then continue on. So we're gonna move from 6 positions now down to 4 positions. Actually, no, which one was it? Docu was I got out earlier, and then Win I just cashed out on. So we've still got Roblox, Micron, Baba, and Snow. Let's take a quick look at Baba, because Baba was regardless of how long all these other names took to move, Baba was one that started going early. Like, that one was weak off the bat. I didn't have to worry about this one because I was short in the pre-market, and we opened and then did this. And here we went to the downside, cashed out some here. So I've got the rest here on Baba for about $4.30. I'm also going to move the stop on this. I'm thinking north of 86 should be good. I don't want to move in too early, but I think north of 86 should be good for now on Baba as we start moving into locations where I can start protecting more and more of this as we get closer to the end of the day. Valeria.
Hey guys, I remind you to like this video. 3,300 people watching us right now, only 400 likes, so we rely on your support. And we have super chat for Arun from Studio Aziz. Arun, is now a good time to go long on NASDAQ futures?
Is now a good time to go long on NASDAQ futures. If you like juggling knives, maybe. Listen, there's certain areas that I like to work with, and I talk about this on both, on the S&P and the futures, on the NASDAQ futures as well. I mentioned this earlier, right? This 14,300 up to 14,500, that's where I'd want to play on the short side. Long side, it had to be it had to be this low right here. We just took it out too. It's going to be 13.7, which we got very close to, but I mean, we're a few points away from taking that out, not too far away. And odds are we probably are going to take it out overnight as well. So 13,700 is going to be the bottom end. If you lose that, there is going to be tough to find any sort of support levels you can work with until we get to 13,000 even. So location-wise, given what we're doing around 13.7 right now, we are bouncing a little bit. So if you want to go for a low-risk late session run to the upside, it's probably worth it. But for me, I'm on the short side, so I'm managing shorts. But if you want to take a low-risk shot, it's probably good now against the 700 intraday-wise. From the larger time frame, it's looking like 13,000 even. It's going to have to be the bigger time frame to work with if you want to pick up longs on the NASDAQ on a multi-day basis. Brendan.
A couple things. Just saw a note on a block trade on PayPal at 89. That was monstrous, apparently. So somebody may be stepping in to buy up a little bit of PayPal in the neighborhood of 60 million worth. Anyway, so watch out on PayPal. Also, Rite Aid catching a bid once again. If you remember, about this time yesterday, we had a huge move in Rite Aid on that note about a possible bid that they rejected. There's more data just coming out on that bid, guys. So Rite Aid popping back up.
Yeah, Rite Aid up, down, rejected, I guess, up to that $8 and now right back down to where we were before, but definitely some upsized volume coming through right there. Thanks, Fahad, for that. All the way to $8 and now right back down in. So, yeah, we'll have to watch out for Rite Aid coming through here. By the way, Fahad's been making some nice plays there. He's been talking to us. I heard. So get ready. Oh, I shouldn't say that because you.
Yeah, get ready, guys. Fahad's going to be on the desk.
You'll probably celebrate that.
I'll be.
But, yeah, anyways, Rite Aid, one of those names. Oh, and I want to talk about this. I don't really do this with Neil, but I'll do it with you, Arun. You know, we have completely different styles, and we don't really talk about our nets at all. But Arun and I, despite holding all of those shares today and some great trades, I feel like I've traded great today. I know Arun has. Our nets are like almost neck to neck right now on the equity side. And we won't talk about futures. I don't trade that. I know that's where your bread and butter is. But, just to go and show you that sometimes, different styles can obviously net out same results, but if I use more shares, if Arun use more shares, then that would obviously be different. But I'm just talking about the style of trading, right? I'm more scalping. Like, you're not going to see all those pews, which is fantastic. I mean, Arun's been on fire today, but like that's going to be a lot different than this AMD, all of these reloads and all of these outs. I mean, I literally have 47 fills on AMD. Watch this. Arun, what stock do you have the most fills on? And maybe not even what stock, but what is the one individual name? How many fills do you have on that for your most active name?
Well, to be fair, I have 1 in, 2 outs on everything that I've cashed in.
So 3 trades, basically.
3 trades on one stock, per stock that I've cashed out on.
And you might average in once, maybe twice, something like that, if you really did
Today I didn't. Today I got everything where I needed to.
Exactly. So that's sort of the difference in strategy and in styles that we're talking about. You can win on both. Just pick whatever you're most comfortable with. And I'm trying to morph a little bit, into trying to hold things for a bit longer. I think it's been working. I mean, I'm in this AMD trade right now, 77 cents in the money. And that's just what we're talking about here when it talks about education, because I remember Alan this morning was like, trade your own ideas and trade your own book. Like, honestly, that's why. And FYI, FTC came down on somebody that was streaming and talking, and you guys probably know who it is. You can look it up as well. But we're here about education and about real trading. And I mean, this is real money that's going on the line right now. And no matter what style you are, you have to adjust. And it's just like Arun, the honesty of this guy, took a big hit in the futures a couple days ago, had some big wins in the futures as well. You held something like 50 points or something for a win on Monday or Tuesday, something like that. Great wins, and then took a hit maybe the very next day. It's what you're talking about. Trade your game, trade your style, and you will be profitable if you give it time. Learn from your mistakes, back test. And you want to speak about a good example about this? Watch this. Ms. V, how did you trade today?
Sean, my trade was fantastic. I caught long Tesla from pre-market, and my last stop was 1088, which is around top of the day. But sadly, I believe Tesla is now at 1,000? Yeah, around 1,004. But thanks for asking. And we have another super chat from Trending One. Hey, you guys, analysis on AT&T, please. AT&T reported positive earnings this morning, guys.
Valeria's always got the great prices on Tesla. It's ridiculous. She got 1088 exit. Are you kidding me, Valeria? The high was like 1090 or something. It was ridiculous. That's a great exit on a move to the upside. Yeah, it was like 1092. She's $4 off the high on a Tesla long. That's good job, Valeria. That's a tough one to make here. Now the market's starting to find some stability. Okay, we got, remember guys, we got imbalances coming out in about 25 minutes or so. So which side are these imbalances going to come out? Could they come out buy side? Because if you know, if they come out buy side after a day like today where this market has no break at all to the downside, I mean, like when I mean no break, we never had a chance, we never decided at any point where we're like, you know what, there's enough selling for today, let's go up. Not at any point. Attempted move here, boom. Attempted move here, boom. No stability. It's just snap back, back down, snap back, back down. Here we are kind of working these 90s. Okay, maybe we get a move to the upside with some buy-side action on the imbalances. You're probably going to get some accelerated move to the upside. Somebody was asking about those NASDAQ futures. Again, 13.7 is going to be the location. So if you want to go for it, probably now or around these prices for a, you know, this is going to be a very, very quick trade. I'm not saying do it because, again, you got to put up like 30, 40 points to do it. I'm not comfortable enough doing it after a move like this. But at the same time, if you're trying to catch that falling knife, this could be the time to do it at.
Yeah, and what, shout out and congratulations to Valeria. What I wanted to get out of her there was that, you know, she had just gone live and today had her best day ever, and it's a decent day. So congratulations to Ms. V on that one, and that's just what I'm talking about. She paper traded for months and months and months, got the strategy, came to us knowing, I mean, she's already heard the story before. Yeah, there it is. What's up?
For me to hear, guys, such a great words from you guys, I'm blushing.
There we go. So thank you, Ms. V. But honestly, I mean, it's really just great to be able to see her, you know, grow and be able to make money like that. And it's a great day. You know, will it last? I hope so. But that's part of day trading, right? Tomorrow you could get hit. It's about knowing that you need to have stops. It's about trading the names. She's focused on Tesla now for months. Comes in today and destroys it on earnings day. So you tell me what that means. Great trading there, Ms. V, today. And yeah, Dominic, I thought we were friends, bro. And then you missed the whole point of what I was saying there. And that's just about the different style. I'm not saying that I'm up more or less than Arun. It's just right now we're both absolutely killing it today with completely different styles. So that's, you know, that's the point here, Dominic. I mean, I know that you like to trade the lower float names. That's great, or those big runners. It's just a completely different style. I don't know if I'm up more or less than you, Dominic, and that doesn't matter. It's about the style, and that's what we're trying to get at. And a shout out to Playmaker. You might have got that right, what I was talking about there. But all right, let's go in. Remember the imbalances yesterday sent the market back down, or was it yesterday or the day before? We had a nice NVIDIA long, and then the imbalances came out and tanked it the other way. So we're going to wait out. We'll get an update. We have Financial Juice. If any of you guys know what that is right now on, I think it's Thinkorswim is what we're up to there.
Early.
Yeah, I know, Dominic. We're just messing around. It's a little bit early right now. Yeah. 326 coming in right now. So, you know, I still take those numbers to be worth something. I mean, you know, because what if right now it's $1 billion to sell, right? Normally we're talking about a couple hundred. So if you guys do have that, that's great. And yeah, shout out to everybody, guys. You know, just pick your style of trading and let's go with it. Netflix back up to the upside, a good little day trade there. Let's check in on some of the banks. I mean, I heard Trader Brad talking a little bit about that. It's funny because we call him Trader Brad. Like, it's just Brad. Like, I don't say Trader Arun or Trader Neil.
But that's the handle he wants to call himself by.
Oh, that's right.
So,
that's the handle. I was wondering why I kept saying that, but that's the handle there in the chat. Yeah, good call right there. So JP Morgan gave up the ghost, man. They were actually doing really well, holding out today, some of these highs. Look at this chop back in, and then they held out pretty good there. So JP Morgan has been on a nice little run. And remember, look, credit or not, we talked about that 125 level, and this was going to be an area that we were going to buy. We didn't step in and buy because the other banks came out and then started to shoot upside, but that level's been able to hold. I definitely, if you guys are bearish on banks, I would start to hit that short the minute JP Morgan breaks this 125. I think it's a house of cards there for all the other banks. So let's see if it holds that out, but I'm looking at JP Morgan down there at 125 as a possible area of concern. And by the way, right now, my eyes going up to NVIDIA. AMD down today for sure, right? AMD's down 4.7%. Not really at any key levels. We're $1 in the money. But look at what NVIDIA is doing right now. It's dancing around 200. So, I mean, this is a level right now that, I mean, if you look at the chart, I said there might not be any more important charts than Google, but right now, this is very, very similar, man. You're giving up the ghost right now on NVIDIA, down to the downside, breaking back down below. What happens if they break through that 200? I mean, obviously, it's not like it's a kind of rhetorical question there, but that's a level that needs to hold. Hopefully we hold it today and then, you know, try to gap up tomorrow. But I woke up today looking at the phone and was like, NASDAQ, yeah, up 1.4%. Tesla, yeah, you saved us, buddy. But now you're starting to get to the downside. And Tesla, so what? 1,008 right now. Arun, some of these, what? Just as we were talking about this, Tesla took down 1,000 right there. Wow. I did not see that coming today. I mean, we were hell along 1070 and 1060 and honestly got out of the way there and talked about that. Shout out to Elizabeth Goodyear. I really hope you asked me for advice and it was right there. Hope we took that because look at this, man. You could now buy Tesla 10% lower than you could have today already. So, I mean, you want to talk about a day of bad action. Tesla giving everything back, still up 3%, so I shouldn't say everything, but wow, what a big move. I mean, what was that down? That might have been down like 2.7 or something down there at 995, but nice little bounce back. We took the 50 period. Maybe there is a rally coming. The NASDAQ's trying to take that out. I'm thinking about shorting more into AMD, but again, dangerous, taking trades heading into the close with that imbalance coming. So sometimes you have to have the ability to switch it up. On that note, we just took more shares short on AMD because it came up to that level that we were looking at, 90 bucks. Let's see if it holds. My out's 90.50.
Yeah, as the market bounces back again, like I remember at this point in time, I'm worried about that buy-side wave coming in as shorts cover, right?
Oh, shit.
So here we go. There goes the NASDAQ moving up 20 points now. Remember, we were talking about, somebody was asking about, is it a good time? And I said, if you would like to catch a falling knife, it was in the 30s. Now it's in the 60s. So it's bouncing up. You're getting market action to the upside. That's not getting me entirely out of everything, but I am going to start working my way out of some of these positions, see if I can actually... okay, there we go. There's one that we'll take care of that one. There goes Micron. We've cashed out Micron for $2 or $3 or so. Final leg on Micron is done. We just got out just north of 71. Okay, so that's done. And we're waiting for the rest. We've still got 3 more. We've got Snow, Roblox, and Baba still working. Snow is going to be a tricky one. Just because of how thin it is, it's going to be pretty I don't know. It's going to be pretty tough because I actually want to see the amounts on Snow before I decide to get out because of how thin it is. You know, I've got a ton of space to work with. So I'll give it maybe another, with a spread of 13 cents, yeah, I'll give it another 60, 70 cents. As long as it can kind of just get a little tame around this 176, I should be okay. I'll try and hold for the amounts. If it keeps running, and then I'll just, you know, walk away because these amounts, it's a coin toss, right? If it comes out of buy, it's just going to take off like $2. That means it's $2 not in my pocket, right? So $2 per share not in my pocket. Yeah. So here we go. We are out of Baba. Baba just came up as well. Baba. Why did Baba? Okay, Baba took out that 176 as well. So I'm out of Baba. I'm down to 2 shorts now. We're down to Roblox up $1.34 and Snow up $13.74. As you can see, I am getting profits out. I'm not getting everything out, but I am tightening things up in such a way where in the event it snaps back, at least I'm out of the way on that. So we'll hold these 2, work them as much as we possibly can. Futures did bounce past that 50, 60, into the 60s now, looking to take those 40s again. Back to Tesla. The issue with Tesla, guys, is we started very strong today, right? So I'm sure a lot of people after earnings saw this, forget pre-market, like even aftermarket yesterday, decided that they wanted in on this. So my question with Tesla is how many people are offside at this point? Everyone that bought in on this earnings play, north of 1050, that decided it was going to go straight to the upside, where are the stop locations on Tesla in the event that it were to go down, right? My whole thing is always thinking, where would people put their stops? Right? You can call it stop. I'm not stop hunting. I don't have the juice for stop hunting. But my thing is avoiding situations where you're caught in the wash because stops are being hunted, right? Where could stops get hunted? 970? Because that was the low we put in just before we snapped up in the aftermarket session with the earnings. So I'm thinking 970, below 970 could be a decent stop location. So When we come down here, this stock still has a chance, but I want to see what 970 brings to the table in the event that we were to take a look at it tomorrow. Up until that point, Tesla, it's a matter of how many people are offside by going long north of that 1050 area from yesterday. So we'll keep an eye on that. There goes another one. Where's that? Damn, snow? Really, though? I probably lost it on the spread. Of course, I lost it on no, snow opened up the spread. I ended up getting out of snow, and now they close the spread right back, and I'm out. Okay, whatever. We're down to Roblox. I can't. I had to do something about that. Anyways, Roblox is going to be the only one left on the table. I'm going to take this one into the imbalance, hopefully. Again, tight stop on this one. We'll see how this one goes. But for now, I'm down to one short. It's been a nice day, but we're cashing out as much as we can, and we're down to one short at this point.
Yeah, and by the way, guess what? I mean, we just reloaded this trade right here, 89.90 or so. So it's just in the money, 10 cents right here. We tried to get more shares, again, missed it at, actually, no, we didn't. We were at 90.25, so we didn't miss it. We're trying to wait for in here and then trying to play like a little bit of a blow off top here of either 91 or 90.50. We'll analyze that if and when that comes through. But right now, you see that reload right back in the money. We just take out 15 cents there, and now we'll see about a lower bottom. But again, we have been screwed on waiting for some of these plays because, as you guys know, sometimes those imbalances will turn the other way. So we'll see what's coming through right now on these names, but hopefully we're able to do a little bit of damage here on an AMD reload short down to the day's low. We'll take another piece out at 50, and if we can get it again right here. So there it is. All we're doing is really, there it is right there. So, sorry, 63 out. Do I have a bid at 50? No, I don't. So that was the bid there, 63 or 64 out right there, as that's another 25 cents. So it's like, this is what we're talking about. And again, we don't share the share sizes with you or anything like that, but I mean, trust me, we wouldn't be sitting here just doing this. We could talk about, let's do this right now. I don't know if they did it on the midday show. We don't do this enough on here, and we always used to do it, and that is go over the profits that some of the traders make here at Day Trade the World. So let's just go with the top 10 traders yesterday, right? So here we go. This is the top 10 traders at Day Trade the World, followed by the markets they trade. This is not where they're located. Some people say, yeah, I thought you guys weren't allowed to have traders in the States, right? But this is not that. So right here, if you look yesterday, some trader in the company made $108,000 trading Amex, all these names there, NYMEX, the CME, everything. And then again, remember, we don't show our trades on all markets here. So there you go, Amsterdam.
That's an individual person. Some people think that's an office. No, that's an individual person.
Yeah, and if they think that, I mean, top 10 traders today. So exactly right. This is trader, not, wow, AMD to the downside. Anyways, we're going to get back into this. But look, this is what I want to talk about quickly here, because look at the market. Amsterdam, so the second best trader, or not best, but most profit made there, Zetra, LSE, and Amsterdam. So not even New York, NASDAQ, anything like that. Then you have a trader down here on the CSE making money, and OTC Pink. So definitely trading something like maybe what Raheem was talking about today. So these are all the traders, some in the teens. And then it always screws up at the end because for some reason, I've talked to these guys about this, the algorithm picks up Asian markets, and they try to advertise markets. The last two spots are markets that aren't as popular traded. So someone that traded Thailand, congratulations yesterday, 691. But I can tell you, these aren't, it doesn't go from 9,000 down to 3,700 there in the top traders. So the last two, especially if you're in the Day Trade the World offices, these two are just random markets, but just to show you that there is money to be made in other spots. So that's your daily update of profitable traders, brought to you by Day Trade the World. Go to DTTW.com, sign up today, open an office, and do not regret it. Trying to steal Valeria's job there on the advertising.
Yeah, they're like, well, what about the worst 10 traders list? I mean, that's going to be a tough list. One, nobody wants, I mean, it's going to be tough to see it. But at the same time, it's like, it's going to be so heavily skewed. I mean,
it's irrelevant because the idea behind it, and I think this is what you're getting at, is like, there's so many brand new traders out there that just take stupid risk. And like, I'm not managing those guys. Neither is Aru, neither is Brendan. There's other offices out there that go cowboy. We've had Luis on before as well. He's an office in Barcelona. He can talk to you about risk management. But at Day Trade the World, we have a built-in risk management system that won't allow traders to lose more than the pre-designed stop loss limit. So That's something to consider right there. So you're not going to get losses the same way that you get gains. It's like our system will flatten those traders at certain spots. So just to remember about that, I think that's something important. As by the way, our net is just going doot, 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 and bang, because right now there's AMD once again at day's low off of another reload. So yeah, we're pretty happy as it's 340 right now, getting ready for these imbalances. And guess what, man? Maybe to the sell side, maybe we have a bigger winner, but maybe I'm just gonna get out of another piece right now. Let's just punch out right there at 43, put that market order out, take another piece out right there. Actually, it's a limit order. Get that bid out. Boom, AMD right there to the down. Actually, we got 44s on that trade. So there it is, AMD. Another one there, 40 cents in the money. Not much else to talk about, though, for me. We're just waiting for those NASDAQ and New York imbalances. But someone that always has something to say, it's the man. It's the myth. It's the legend. Oh, by the way, Brendan, show that you weren't here. A trader came in and gifted us. Oh, I already brought mine. So I got Blue Jay. What is Neil's? Do you see a gift there?
You mean this?
Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell you about that, actually. Yeah. So here comes the story.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had a trader come in. Because Tony, again, no security around here, comes in and gave us each a gift. And that was yours. So I got Blue Jay ball markers. Neil got
nice.
Do you see a pineapple cup anywhere? Neil got a pineapple coffee cup, and there's yours, my man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, guys, I like free stuff too,
Thank you.
I like free stuff too. Come on, I'm right here.
Okay, valid point, valid point. Yeah, so we each got that. That says, what does it say, Brendan?
Exactly what you just said.
Right.
Here, let me, if we can.
That's okay, yeah.
There.
Man, the myth, the legend, and it's a beer opener there, so bottle opener. So there you go. So sometimes, just like shout out to Mike Crehan there, talked about Trader Pratt, and like we've made, he's a trader, Trader Pratt, and there it is right there, giving Brendan that handle, the man, the myth, the legend, right there, Brendan Wickens. So what was the news you had, by the way?
I'm just going to talk quickly, guys, about Snapchat, first of all. Held up. The market made a nasty rejection there, right back to day lows. 5% though, remember, aftermarket tonight. This is 29, so bounced off 29 there nicely for Snapchat. There was also DLPN, which is an NFT name. Just popped up on volume for that one.
All right, just a quick update on the futures. There's going to be probably, I don't know, not forget a bounce, but imbalance-wise, let's quickly take a look at imbalance-wise activity. What do you got here to the upside? We've got, maybe some space to the upside, but at the same time, what you got to factor in is imbalances coming out in about 10 minutes. So I want to quickly go over these imbalances and what we look at these points, right? You got to understand at 350, when all of these numbers come out, it's going to be a pretty big deal because this is going to tell you which side programs are going to be working into these imbalances. So right now, we have nothing. This information is from this morning. It doesn't really matter at this point. But as we move up into the end of the day here, this number will get updated here. You have symbols, direction, size of the imbalance, and paired value. So as this market gets into that 350 number, and once we get that 350 number in the update, what you're going to see is these numbers are going to flash in. They're going to show you how much needs to be executed on the close on these individual names, to the upside, to the downside, whatever. So why that matters is it puts pressure on the stock. If there's enough sellers, because it's been such a big day today, let's just say there's a sell side imbalance on the name. If there's enough sellers that want to be on the sell side, they want to say market on close. Get me out at whatever the official closing price is. I want out. Just get me out. So that's going to drive the stock down because there's enough sellers on the opposing side. So having that information allows you to say, you know what, there's a sell side imbalance on this stock. It's large enough, and we got to respect it at this point. So that's why we pay attention to imbalances. At 350, you get the release. At 355, you get the floor update, and then you just continue on until 4 o'clock as the programs put pressure. If they're large enough, they'll put pressure on the name, and that's why I'm holding on to this Roblox position. Maybe there's a sell side imbalance. Roblox is down 6%. I don't know, but it'd be pretty nice to see a sell side imbalance on Roblox. So we'll see how this one plays out. But for the time being, we're just waiting for these imbalances to come out with about 8 minutes left.
Yeah, buddy. So yeah, that's exactly what we're waiting for. We are waiting for these imbalances to come out. And just dear Bear versus Bulls right there. Please do the imbalances today. Thank you. I missed them yesterday. Hey, I'm here for you, man. And that's what we're going to do right now. So just like we're taking questions from Danielle Shea, if you guys have anything to do, Arun just went over the imbalances like he does every day with us here. And, you know, obviously very, very important. So I will show everything. Right now, we have 7 minutes to go. I guess 7 minutes to go. These are not the imbalances. You can see the market time on the side here. What we'll do is they'll come out. The source will be here. The size will be here. These are not market imbalances right now. This is just from the morning. So Netflix had a buy of 400,000 shares this morning. So that was that buy imbalance. I think he even covered that, Arun, when that came out this morning as well. So that's what we're looking for. You know, we're calm, cool, collected. We'll wait until that number does come out. And then for those of you wondering, I think you can go financial juice to get whatever it is. You guys might also have, if any of you have Thinkorswim, apparently you guys have told us that there's a number on that as well. So if you do have that, put that in there. What's up, Mike Johnston? Thank you for becoming a new member here with us. We have many members that are 2 years, 18 months, 19 months. The next person that I see there, I'm sending them something. So the next person that has more than 18 months is getting something from me, hoodie or whatever you want. I'm going to send that over to you right there. So that's good. Thank you for becoming a member for sure. It's just to support the channel. We're actually moving Trader Pratt and Ms. V right beside us. Ooh, the desk is nice and clean right now. That's happening May 11th. So get ready for that one as the imbalance is coming through. Any last words, Arun, before they come? You might be looking short, might be looking long.
I'm just waiting for these imbalances to come out and see what, you know, we've got positions, right? We've got our Roblox position that we need to worry about. Right now, it's $1.34 in the money. Is that going to be a problem with these imbalances coming out as the market decides to run to the upside here, as it's now at 95? Buy-side action. I was worried about the buy-side action. Looks like we're getting that buy-side action now coming in here as the market decided that, hey, you know what, we want to bounce from 90 all the way up to 95. So there you go to the upside as the market is now making a move at closer and closer we get to these imbalances. The market decides that it wants to make a move. So here we go to the upside with about 5 minutes left. Market making a move, buy-side action coming in. Remember, I've gotten out of a bunch of these positions here. So we're out of the shorts on from Roblox, not Roblox, except for Roblox.
Except, yeah.
Everything except for Roblox, from like Snow, Docu, Baba. Anyways, we've gotten out of a lot of them except for Roblox. We're holding on to the last little bit there to see what it's got. And then we'll dump it. If we don't get a favorable imbalance, then we'll dump it on Roblox as well. Brendan.
It's V. Arun, and I also want to give a big shout out to Mike Johnston. Thank you so much. Welcome to the family. And of course, I want to give a big shout out to T-Straight for being a member for 17 months. To Mad Volume for being a member for 22 months. And to Rusty Dalrymple for being member for 21 months. Paras just also joining. I believe it's like 2 months of a year. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for your support, for being with us for so long. It's just another proof that we are real and great community. And again, that's another feature of members. You can send a message which will be in green and pinned. So we love all of you, and special shout out to all the members. Back to you guys.
All right, I just missed that. We got two right there. Rusty, who is this? Rusty as well. Rusty, send me a tweet right now at TraderTV Sean. Best way to get a hold of me. And you too, Mad Volume. Both of you guys are going to come through with something there. Send me a tweet at TraderTV Sean. Let me know, and I will hook you up. Man of my word, even though two of you came through there, we will send you something. Hey, today is a good day. So thank you for becoming, again, re-upping that membership, man. 22 months, bang for that one. So thank you so much on that one. You get a bang-a-rooney right there. Okay, AMD. Okay, what happened again? We reloaded, and now it's like, the carnival is back in business right now. I'll just put these imbalances up there. Keep it on my #1 screen, so I will not forget to show it to you when that does come through. But there's another reload there, and now the market continues to make that move downside. So far, so good on that. And I'm kind of not with Arun. I mean, he didn't, we're going to wait for those imbalances to come out. But why would we? Yeah, buddy, there it is right now. Ape Nation, but not going to the upside right now. We haven't looked at AMC in a couple of days. Maybe we'll do that. But there goes AMD. We just got it out again at that day low. Man, and this is why I talked about different style of trading. you know, I'm super, super pleased, obviously, with the way that that's working out here for me today on that move. So we're going to have to watch out for that coming in right now. But nice little take there. And I actually am kind of with this move to the downside. Let's just put another offer here at 50, see if we can get some more short right now on AMD. This is a little aggressive. Normally I've been waiting for a bump up, but right now we only have 2 minutes to go. And I'm just feeling, excuse me, that this move down in the NASDAQ right now, back down 2 days low, probably means something into this close. So we're going to wait out for that, see if it does come out and hold true for us. So we'll take another short for us. And again, you know, we could easily be wrong, and I'm not going to hold this name forever. We talked about being smart, trying to trade properly here. So, you know, if it does take out, and I'm going to put the stop order in right now, if it does take that 90, whatever this high is right there, just give it a little bit more room. Let's go 90.20. I mean, I could hold it all the way to here, but again, on a spike up, I'm dead either way. So 90.10, wow, here we go. We are now collapsing. So hopefully that 90.10 makes no difference now as the market giving back a little bit right there, just taking down the lows. AMD giving it back as well. So we'll put another bid down for AMD and get out some. We just reloaded this name. So yeah, I do have an upsized position right now. We have a minute 30 to go. I really hope that this one doesn't go sour, but who knows? Coming back in, we'll take some more bids. If we can get a 37 bid, that would be nice. Just clocks right through. And we get the 32 bid as well. So the market definitely starting to come in right now off of this move. So big time coming here, hopefully, in this NASDAQ today, down 2.25%, looking like it wants to go lower. So with only now 1 minute to go before the imbalances, we are really starting to accelerate a little bit here into the NASDAQ, trying to take down those lows. And I'm just looking at AMD, so mind the market here if I misspeak, but we're starting to go back down into this downside. I'm going to put some lower bids now for AMD, just because, hey man, if we're lucky enough to get an 89 flat, I'll take that as well. And then we'll see about even lower than that. Let's put out some like 88, 70 bids, man. Maybe we get those. But right now, we're going to watch out for the market with only 30 seconds left. Here we go. We're getting ready to go now. Market starting to make a move into this number. So let's pull it back down for you. I said I'd do this for you, Bulls versus Bears. So let's go right now. These names are going to load up. Watch the market. We're down 2.3% right now and cranking lower right now. So let's go with only 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. These imbalances will update in 1 second here, and then we're going to go. There it is, Visa downside right now. Market, I don't know. What does it want to do? Looks like it might be going back upside right now. So we'll take a little bit out of AMD there as the market does shoot up right to these levels. So, okay, we'll cancel some of these bids now because we're not going to get those lower bids. But here they are, Delta. I see a lot of sell side, and I don't see that much buy side. So I am surprised by that tick upside right there.
Do we know what that imbalance number was?
It was I would have no idea,
but heavy buy side action. But I mean, it snapped up. Okay, this is what I worry about now. This late in the day is buy side. We've been down all day, and now you're going to get a buy side imbalance. Remember, we were short on Roblox as well, and I was waiting for Roblox to make a move. Roblox got no help at all. I guess maybe there was a sell side. I don't even know what the move here on Roblox is, but I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to wait. Maybe remember next update is going to be 355 not on the futures, on the imbalance side of things, right? So if we can get a buy side move that extends a little bit further, I may have to worry about Roblox to the buy side. But for now, it does look like Roblox wants to stay a little quiet, so we'll let it be. For now, it's $1.40 in the money, still going. We saw these imbalances. They snapped up. Looks like buy side action. Visa, the big one here on the sell side, 1.1 million shares to sell. I mean, Visa disappears all the damn time.
Yeah, it's going to pair off.
It shows up and then disappears. So do I care about this one? No. I just got to keep a very, very close eye on what's it called, Roblox does, because that's the only position I've got left on the short side here. So futures, making a move, trying to figure out what to do. Remember, update, 355. Now we know what 350 brings. 355 is going to be the next update to see what that brings, and we'll see how that one plays out. But for now, it looks like buy strength on the futures as we snap back from those 80s. Look at that, from 80 now all the way back up to 94. There was initial buy strength before. We got a lot more of it now. So here we are through 95, 96, still moving to the upside and moving strong. Let's see if we can get some more juice to the upside, because if we can, this market's taking off, because there's a lot of shorts that need to cover. I've been saying it all day, and that's why I've kind of paired out most of my positions. My concern is how many shorts are left that needs to get out before the end of the day. and we'll get that answer fairly soon.
Yeah, I mean, you could see, hopefully, well, I mean, we'll show my trades in a minute. As soon as that came the other way, man, we just flipped around, and we didn't go long, but we were out of most of our shares here, as right now we're sitting in a 40-cent loser, but we got out, and I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, if you, like, this is what can happen. Look at Marvell here. So Marvell's right here, oops, that's INO. Here's Marvell on a bid side. So look what that did. Oh, man, where's my 1 minute chart? There it is right there. So look what that did to the stock, right? 59.50, up 50 cents almost straight. Nothing to do with the stock, nothing to do with anything. It's market mechanics coming through, and that's what can happen here, as this is what the buy side imbalance looks like. Let's just look at something else. Like, here's NVIDIA for a buy. Look, I mean, it was down to lows, just like AMD. It touched 200 flat, man, and now you're at 202. Again, nothing to do with the market, nothing to do with anything. It's just the way it works. Like, these come out as buy imbalances. Somebody wants to buy NVIDIA at the close. So that's going to pair off, and eventually it's going to go down to nothing, and NVIDIA probably will fall back down, but that's a very dangerous game if you're trying to guess what's about to happen, because you don't want to carry shares into the close, and that big bid stays there. So watch out for that, but this is the imbalance locator. And there you go, bear versus bulls, man. Thanks for the respect there on the chat. And again, you know, I'm going to try to give this to you like we can every single day. But on that note, I do have to get out of my position now. So here we go. Just so you guys are well aware of what happened, we took a shot, right, into that close. We were able to cash out a little bit. We actually got out twice down there at 89. But look at the move here, right straight back up to $1. So there's 350. As soon as the number came out, there's me getting out. So we actually wind up winning on our AMD short, but we still have a small piece. Let it go again. It breaks the 50 period, get out, and now we're just holding stupidly because we don't have many shares at all left for this. But really, I mean, you're going to have to trust me. That was a big out right there. As soon as the imbalances came out, it's like, boom, it's buy side. And I didn't even have to say that. I mean, you just look down here at the NASDAQ. As soon as it came out, it started to go up. Gave us opportunities to get out. That's why you hit market keys, and that's why you're prepared for single market risk when that comes out. So that's a good trade, man. What a great day. I couldn't be happier. My voice is about to go. I think I've said about 12 million words today. Brendo, save me, buddy. What's going on?
A lot of volume at the bottom end of the range here. We're struggling, though, to get back to 4,400. Let's get you caught up on what's to come tonight and tomorrow morning for earnings. We've mentioned a few of these, but going to be an interesting day again tomorrow, guys.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we talked about giving up the ghost there, and Arun talked about the ghost as well. And, yeah, Snapchat is really going to be all that's on my mind. You were looking at Newmont earlier as well. That's on there. Cliffs is as well. But, you know, so you get a little bit of both there. You get some minerals on the metals. You're going to get Snapchat in the social media, which is...
The only reason I like I keep saying Ghost, it's not Ghost, Snapchat, is because I like their logo. The logo's pretty cool. How often do you see yellow on white?
You definitely have a Snapchat account.
I definitely don't. I definitely don't. For anyone wondering, Arun, social media, blah, 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 none. Except for a LinkedIn account, which I never use. So, I mean, if you want to hit that up and all the time and I'll just ignore you, sure, you can do that. But I don't really use it. And it's just there to make sure that it's there. But in terms of social media, I see this in the chat all the time. Twitter handle, none. Instagram handle, none. Facebook account, none. I'm definitely not on social media. And no, I do not have a burner account. I don't even have any of those apps on my phone, actually. Up until this point, up until this year, my BlackBerry, yes, BlackBerry Passport, could not support Instagram. It could only support Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, of which I only have one, so which is the LinkedIn account. So I'm not on social media, guys, so you're not going to find me there. Imbalance-wise, after the 355 update, we've got some updates here. TAL, 3.6 million shares to the sell side. That's piled in now. CCL as well, 1.3 to the sell. Visa still there for some weird reason. Visa will disappear. And then AT&T, 1.1 to the buy side, and then it just goes sub a million from there. Not a whole lot there. Again, if you don't get a special indexing event, you're not going to get a whole lot of action there. And I see you, Sean, what's my pager number? That's a very good question. I need to pull out that brick of my phone, and I won't give you my BBM pin.
I have, yeah.
What do you got?
No, I was going to say, I have your number, but we ain't sharing that. When you said Sean, I was like, what? I already have your number. But yeah, no. And that's a valid point, man. I mean, look, I'm on social media. We're promoting the show and everything like that. And again, I want to give a big thank you to Arun, whose last day is going to be tomorrow, I think. Anyways, well,
let's hope.
Let's hope. Let's knock on wood for that. Yeah, so we're going to hope for that. And then my main man, Neil, will be beside me. But I did want to give a big shout out here because I think this is really, really important, man, honestly. Yeah, you're welcome, Dr. Strange. Another nice comment right here. He's wanted to say thanks to me and the team here for doing this. And I couldn't do this without the team, but this is more important to me. Look, Dr. Strange here. You know, me and Arun deliver consistently every day. So yeah, that's what we're trying to do here. I don't care who the hosts are. Arun, Neil, me, Brendo, whoever's going to be here. Me and the Tiger Man back there. Anybody that's sitting in this desk, we're going to attempt to put on the best possible show we can and not just try, we are going to do it. So there it is, man. And it's very, very hard. I'm obviously an emotional guy, so sometimes, you know, we get a little carried away with some of the calls and some of the plays, but you guys all know that. You can see Arun more calm, collective, and let's go on that one. So I feel like, you know, we play off each other really well. And I just said that's a comment, honestly, for your confidence, not that you need any, Arun, but I feel like the last couple weeks, just because of how much we've been together, that you know, we've definitely built something here, and that's been great for all of that. All right, Dominic, you're my boy as well, despite that comment. Let's show the imbalances one more time here as we're getting ready to close out the day. CCL flips over to a sell side right there. So let's see what CCL, every time I hit it, my chart changes. So there's CCL starting to go a little lower, but these are what the market on close imbalances look like. I just suggest maybe you screen cap this and you can have a look at it later on. But right now, with only a minute to go, this is what they look like. Look at all the paired volume here. So AT&T still a buy, but at one point was 5 million. Now switch that around to only 800,000 left. I suspect AT&T's, I was going to say it's gone up, but it did go up there from 350. So a nice little move to the upside. With only a minute left to go, today's show another banger for you. So I think we've been pretty proud about it. I'm tired as heck, man. What a busy week. I've been working, same as you, man. We've been burning this midnight oil here for you guys every single day, seems like for the last 3 weeks. So we're pretty exhausted here, but I'm fresh off a nice vacay. I hope you have a nice vacay, obviously in the summer. You were mentioning that as well. Brendan's back in the building from his vacation. So we look forward to hopefully having Neil back ASAP on that one. Okay, with only 10 seconds to go right now, we have Miss V and the Toronto man on the bell. Let's hit the countdown right now. And here we go with only 10 seconds left. It is on you guys right there now. Tony and Miss V getting ready to rock and roll. I'm just waiting for Miss V to lose that mallet one day and hit Tony right in the face. Just kidding. 2-1-0. Hit that. Let's go. Oh. There we go.
All right, Valeria.
I think that was like a little crescendo there, heading into the crescendo.
For a second there, I thought it was my alarm, because that's how my alarm rings.
It starts and then it goes higher there. But I saw Tony try to sneak in that last little whack there. But then Valeria, no, denied on that one right there.
She gets the last say. I've learned that lesson the hard way. So Valeria always gets the last say around here.
Yeah, Valeria wins again, as she should. And Brendan, oh man, I hate to ask.
It's been a long day, guys. Hydrate.
Yeah, I hate to ask Brendan there how we wound up, but how did we wind up?
We'll make it official anyways. It was not good. Here's a look at some red numbers right across the board. 2% for the NASDAQ, 1.25 for the Dow, 1.45 for the S&P. But what a reversal. I think that's the bigger story here, guys. We came in this morning, again, if you remember, pre-market we were up, I believe, 0.8 for the S&P at one point, maybe even higher, and then we end the day nowhere near that. So yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow, but not good.
Hopefully join us tomorrow, because this story is not over. The week is not over. The story is not over, as this market has done a reversal. Hey, when the market does a reversal, do we have a chance at the low, the most recent low, which is at 43.50, which is now in striking distance? So come in tomorrow, tune in tomorrow, guys. We'll be here again. I'll be here again for the last time for now, and see how this market turns out.
Yeah, exactly, man. Job well done for everybody. Oh, I lost you because you're too far back there, but oh, here it is. Right, what up, Captain Hindsight? T. Tony. Actually, I just like that better than Tony Toronto. So that's a good one there. Or Toronto Tony. Tony, a great name. Yeah, look, man, I don't think Snap is out yet. Let me just double check for you guys. Let's get this out. Snapchat starting to go back up to the upside right now, but I don't think the earnings are out. That's going to be the most interesting name for me. Look, check out the trade of the day, man. It's on AMD. We had a monster winner on Facebook, which turned out that it could have been like $20. We take 11 or 12 on that one. But AMD definitely destroyed by me, my number one name today. So enjoy that. We'll be back tomorrow with the imbalances. Are we going to do a box here? Fod, are we going to do, we're wrapping this up there, my man. Yep, that's one. There we go. What's up? I blame Mark for that one because, you know, Fahad.
Mark's always distracting.
Yeah.
Come on, Mark.
Yeah. And, well, you said, here goes Snapchat. Snapchat busting up right now. Back up to the upside. Snapchat starting to go. Good job, Fahad, going back to this screen. So, you know, we got.
He's on top of that.
Yeah, he's on top of that. And you always said what? It's always Maggie's fault.
It's always Maggie's fault.
So, yeah. So
anytime I see her, it's her fault.
Yeah, it is definitely.
It doesn't matter
fault.
what it is.
Okay, guys, let's wrap this thing up. Snapchat's out. I don't know if it's out or not, but it's looking pretty good here to the upside. I would fade that play. Social media. Is it out, Brendan, or not?
I don't see it, no.
Yeah, so it could just be a fat finger. It doesn't look like it's on huge volume, so we'll watch out for that. Either way, the team is back tomorrow. And we'll be back at 8:30. So a big thank you to everybody. Fahad, Lucas, Mark. We have a great time here. Miss V. Great day, ma'am. You know what we're talking about, so that was a good one. Congratulations on Tesla earnings. Shout out to all the traders behind us. Shout out to you, Arun. Shout out to Brendan. And yeah, that's our Trader TV Live team. Liz and Maggie in the back. Yeah, we're excited. We're growing every single day, and we're glad. Oh, someone said about that calmest trader video that was made for me. I'm going to try to find that, put that up. So watch on Twitter. I'm going to try to put that up again. Calmest trader video was really funny. Check us tomorrow. We're running late now. Trader of the Day up next. 8:30 tomorrow, Trader TV Live. Ciao, guys.